White. Wide open, Torrence! Oh, baby, touchdown! How do you leave the best receiver in the NAIA that wide open?
You show, and that's what we do! Cat!
You're proud of me?
And it's caught! Oh my goodness! Troy Torrence comes down with it!
Welcome all to Bankroll Blitz. It is week 9. We are at the halfway part of the regular season, and things are going according to plan, especially for my co-host Troy Torrence, coming off another excellent week. Troy, how are you, my friend?
I always look back at the end of every week and I think to myself, I don't think like, oh, this is a good play, this is a bad play. A lot of times it's thinking, God damn it, I should have been on this side or I should have been on that side. And can't let that happen. I don't want to let some of these opportunities slip through my hands working with you, Jimmy. So if you catch me today passing up on an opportunity, please alert me.
I will do my very best. Shout out to all the cappers here in the chat. Omar Gaudet joining us from France. We got the Goracle, Susie Easton, AM, Dougie Wise, Old E, Terry Walker, Jav, man, Gerald Jones. Thank you guys for joining us here on Bankroll Blitz. We got Digging in the house as well. Great to see all of you guys. A very strong weekend we are coming off of. I went 15-7 plus 7.93 units. You went 17-9 plus 7.46 units, which brings us to an interesting point in the season. First off, you are having an extraordinary year. 115 wins, 77 losses, 59.9% plus 35.08 units, ROI plus 18.27%, average line minus 104. It's absolutely spectacular. I have finally hit double digits, which is important. I'm 93-72, 56.4%, plus 14.98 units, ROI plus 9.08%, average line minus 106, which means combined we are plus 50.06 units, something that we've never been at this point in the season, which of course means one thing. We could get to 100. That's all it means to me. It means there's a chance that we could be great. Right now, we're really good, but we could be great here. And I'm excited.
You ran that past me this afternoon as we were texting back and forth, exchanging messages, and that just stuck with me. 100. We should have a little thermometer chart that shows how many, because I feel like we're just going to continue. We're working together. I feel very confident, especially in right now. Maybe my overconfidence is because it's this middle part of the year where it's just this is where it is. This is where all the opportunity exists. So we gotta take advantage of it.
I think so too. I think the middle of the year is where there are distinct advantages that I think.
Watch Bankroll Blitz week 8, 9, and 10 of last year. We talked about it every single week. It was 8, 9, 10, maybe it was 9, 10, 11, but it was right here in this middle part of this season.
I like it. I like it very, very much, and I'm pumped up. JM in the house. Great to see you. Let's just quickly talk on the week that was and then move right past it and focus on what's next. D. Jenkins in the house. It's great to see you. For me, 15-7 plus 7.93 units. Started poorly. Minnesota plus 3.5 was an ugly way to get started. But then things came together for me. There was a lot of concern, with Lamar Jackson being announced out. And I was filled with dread and concern. Which is pretty common for me. San Francisco, Houston, first half under 20.5 was a loss. San Francisco, Houston, full game under 42 was a win. As I said, the Minnesota plus 3.5 loss. Atlanta, double result was horrific loss. New York, Jets, Cincinnati, first half over 22.5, full game over 44. I talked to you about how it just felt too easy. And then, of course, 77 points are scored.
You got us all there. I feel like you that was one play I was able to commit on that you got me to. I mean, I had some evidence, some support, but you pushed me past the edge on that. Like there's a few other spots I look back on our card and I'm like, I can't miss this. I cannot miss that,
It was nice. And now the Cincinnati total this week's all the way up to 52, got up to 53 at one point. Of course, because everybody's seeing, dealing with what they just saw. Cleveland +7 was a loser. Cleveland, New England, first half under 20 cash, but the full game under 40.5 lost. And then I got on a bit of a streak. New York Giants, Philadelphia, first half over 20.5 and full game over 43. I said the same thing. It wasn't as blatant as the Jets, Bengals. I'm not an over better.
I know. That's part of the reason. How many overs you have? 8, 6.
Yeah, well, I went 10-2 on totals this week, but those 2 overs were just very easy. Buffalo double result cashed. Baltimore double result cashed. New Orleans +4 lost. And then another string with Tampa Bay, New Orleans, full game under 47 cashing. First half under 23.5 and Tampa, New Orleans cashing. The first half under 24.5 on Monday night. Washington, Kansas City cashed. The full game under 48 cashed. Houston, Texans -128 cashed. I thought that Brock Purdy was going to be announced in. I was still going to hammer it, but I waited. And so instead of being angry that the line wasn't quite as good, I added the Houston double result to +175, which was a banger.
That's the one. That's the one that's really sticking with me this week. That's the one.
That was a banger. It was just the perfect situation. We have teams in the NFL. The 49ers are one of them. The Dallas Cowboys are another one, where you can take advantage of their home road splits. And we personally right now believe that we can do the same with the Kansas City Chiefs, which I know is going to take a lot of flack from cappers who believe they're going to smash and grab yet again. And we'll get into that. Carolina +7.5 was a late addition. That was so
double result, and the Panthers 7.5.
Yeah, that was the last 3 bets. But then I realized that I had not bet Denver -3. I realized it on the show on NFL Pop-Up, and I was lucky enough that a -3 at -122 is still available at 365. And within 45 minutes or an hour later, still before kickoff, that had gone up to -135, and that was a smash and grab as well. So for me, 15-7 +7.93 units. Troy, roll through quickly the week that was for you, and then we'll attack this week.
See, I feel like just reviewing your action is important because there's things you take away from it. So I started open with the Chargers, the only game we were on the opposite side. So now the only 2 games we were on opposite sides of were 1-1 this year. The other one was Jags, Bengals early in the season. I had Chargers money line, Herbert 200+ passing yards, that cashed. I had Herbert 24+ completions. Here's a learning moment. If I'm betting the Chargers to win the game, why the hell am I betting the quarterback's completion prop? Bad bet. That was a loser. So I started off the week 2-1 on Thursday. Cash the Cam Scatabo under rushing prop. Cash the Ted McMillan over receiving prop after betting his under last week. And then I take a little bit of a bath with the Browns. And I had Browns plus first half +4 that cash. Browns +7 loser. Patriots team total under 23.5 and 24.5 were losers. And the full game under 40.5. I guess I'll get into the breakdown of that game because I did do a lot of digging in that game. What went wrong? And obviously Dylan Gabriel's a huge part of that. I had the Falcons on 2. I had the over with you. Bengals Jets over 43.5. That was a winner. Falcons on 2 teasers with the Ravens and the Eagles. Obviously, those both lost, and I put these bets in before Penix. I would not have if I knew Penix was out of the game. Ravens. Then I took home 3 units. I had 4 bets on this Ravens game, but I did hedge with the Bears money line at +140 as soon as I heard the news. But watching the line go from all the way from -7 to -1 down to a pick basically. Back to a -3 after the injury with Tyler Huntley, a quarterback that was not even on the team a week ago. That's insane. The writing was still on the wall. They got the money. Saints and Bucks, first half under, full game under. That's another one I thought of you, Jimmy, betting the first half under, doubled up, cashed both of them. Alvin Kamara, I'm going to be attacking these rushing prop unders. Alvin Kamara under 44.5 rushing yards was a winner. And then all the money, all the action was coming on the Cowboys, sharps and public alike. The line was moving towards the Broncos, and it was that 3.5 that we talk about so much. Broncos -3, but Broncos double result, and Broncos Eagles money line, 3 winners. Packers -3 was a winner. My prop Golden over 40.5 was a loser. And then we finished it off last night with Chiefs Commanders under. I mean, it was a great week. Great week.
It was a great week. I mean, week 7.
A little embarrassing though that the Browns ended up like that. But we'll talk.
Those are going to happen. But week 7, you went 17-2. Week 8, 17-9. So you're 34-11 over the last 2 weeks. So let's keep it rolling. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a good week. Now we stop talking about it, but we talk about what we learned, what went right, what went wrong, what we can use to cash this week. Let's roll. Thank you guys for joining us. We start Thursday, October 30th. Thursday night action, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Ravens 2-5, 0-2 on the road at the Miami Dolphins 2-6, 1-2 at home. We're at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Let's start with the Ravens. Let's also start with the line history here. We have the Ravens minus 7.5 at minus 115. That's where it opened. It opened minus 7.5, minus 105. There wasn't a look ahead due to question marks around the quarterback position. So it's moved 10 cents towards the Baltimore Ravens. From a total standpoint here, we have a 50.5. This opened up at 50. It quickly went up to 51, and then it's dropped back to 50.5. When we get to the cash flow for our Thursday nighter, let me move over back to NFL. That will take 1 second. While that is loading up, let's start with the Ravens passing offense, which we shouldn't put too much stock in. So many different quarterbacks. I don't even think it needs to be mentioned. We can talk about the rushing offense, but even that, we saw the difference with Patrick Ricard in the lineup playing his first game. He's arguably the best fullback blocking runner or blocking for the run game in the NFL. And he changed everything. 83% of the tickets are on Baltimore, but just 62% of the cash at this point. 52% of tickets on the over and 55% of cash on the over. The red zone offense, again, I don't care about these stats here with their offense. It's not helpful. It doesn't.
I even think with the defense, it's not helpful, to be honest.
Well, it does kind of give you a starting point. They looked much improved off of the bye. They're going to be involved in this trade deadline coming up. They're going to be trying to help the pass rush, supposedly, and the secondary. But it's the rush defense that's been the biggest problem, ranked 28th. Pass defense, 16th. Red zone defense, third down defense being terrible, and pass rush is ranked 29th. Ravens come in off a short week after snapping their 4-game losing streak with a thorough 30-16 beating of the Bears at home with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Noise canceled score was a little closer at 30-21, but it was impressive. The Bears outgained the Ravens 372-355. It wasn't dominant in that. The Bears outgained the Ravens 372-355, so it wasn't as dominant as the score indicates. But even the noise canceled score still being 30-21 tells you that they were in control of this football game. And
those trips into opponent's territory, man, that's just the consistency of that, the success of rate, essentially.
Yeah, and a lot of the Bears yards did come late when the game was over. Although Jackson returned to practice, he was ruled out Saturday for a third straight game because of a hamstring injury. The Ravens had lost 11 of their last 13 without Lamar Jackson at quarterback. He practiced in full yesterday. He's expected to make his return this week. The Bears outgained the Ravens 125-8 in the first quarter. Then the Ravens took complete control of the game, and then the Bears put on some yards late. The Bears outgained the Ravens 125-8 in the first quarter, but only led 6-0. Tyler Huntley was 17-22 for 186 yards, touchdown, no picks. He also ran 8 times for 53 yards. As a team, the Ravens ran 35 times for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry ran 21 for 71 with those 2 touchdowns. And again, it's Patrick Ricard returning from injury, his season debut. He pumps them up, too. He pumps this group up. Zay Flowers led receivers with 7 catches for 63 yards. The offense went 4 of 10 on third down, 3 of 6 in the red zone. The week 7 bye really helped this defense. I mean, they held the Bears to 1 of 3 in the red zone. While the defense looked much better, the pass rush was once again meek. And that's just what we have to deal with right now if you're backing the Ravens, finishing with 1 sack and 4 quarterback hits, and Nate Wiggins had an interception. The Fish stepped up. It was a surprise. Snapped their 3-game losing streak with an impressive 34-10 victory at Atlanta. Passing offense still ranked 26th. Rushing offense 26th. Red zone offense 11th. Third down offense 9th. Pass defense 27th. Rush defense 24th. Red zone defense 6th. I mean, we know what Tua Tagovailoa can do with Achane back there, and Waddle still at least a quality WR1 with Tyreek Hill gone. But their third
Waller
down,
too, man, and Waller.
Yeah, their red zone offense and the red zone defense have been pretty good, pretty impressive. Their third down defense has been rough, and their pass rush is second worst in the NFL. The Dolphins stopped their 3 and losing streak, as I said. The noise canceled score was 29-15 Dolphins, so it was a little closer, but still pretty dominant. Tagovailoa was 28-26 for 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Waddle caught 5 for 99 touchdown. Achane ran 18 times for 67, caught 5 for 24. Offense 6 of 13 on third down, 3 of 5 in the red zone, and no turnovers. 6 turnovers in the 2 games coming in, 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions in both of those games, and they stopped that. That was very big, and they stopped the run. Is that something that we can trust in this Dolphins defense? It's ranked 24th. Or was it a spot where they just filled the box to stop Bijan Robinson and dared Kirk Cousins to beat them, which is a very viable possibility with why Robinson was held to 25 rushing yards and lost a fumble inside the Miami 20. The Dolphins outrushed the Falcons 141-45. Who would have guessed that? Held them to 2 of 11 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. This 31st ranked pass rush had 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits, and they lose Storm Duck again, leaving with a knee injury, and he's done for the year. Storm Duck is now done for the year. They're already missing Jason Marshall. They've already been missing defensive backs Cater Cole, Artie Burns, and Jason Mater. D. Eskridge, wide receiver, and safety Ashton Davis are listed as questionable right now. They got hurt early in that game and are now listed as questionable. Here we go. Our Thursday nighter, Troy Torrence, Ravens, Dolphins. Do you believe what you saw from Miami? And do you think that they can do it again here at home and make this a close game? Take it away.
You know, I do have my doubts about the Dolphins team maybe being able to repeat the success they had last week, but especially because they're going home. But this is not a team that I think last week I put it as this is a team that you don't back. You're only betting on this team if you're fading their opponent. And in this case, I'm going to stick to that. I'm not going to let 1 week change my opinion on that. And I understand, like, the Ravens were an absolute gift last week. It was the ultimate sell high spot on the Chicago and an ultimate buy low spot on the Ravens. You know, I talked about a little bit, you know, before we started the show. I got concerned when I seen that line crash from 7-1 when Lamar got knocked out. And then the next few hours, it just trickled all the way back to -3. And I just, you know, at that point, I was very confident in my action on the Ravens. And on the other hand, this Dolphins team, I took an L. You know, so I backed the Ravens last week. I faded the Dolphins last week. Have a winner and have a loser. So it kind of like disrupts my process a little bit. And there's actually a few spots like that this week. But like I've been saying, you know, I have a future on this Ravens team to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, I look like an ass clown right now. But I believe in this football team. And I think there's a good chance that they win out the rest of the season. It's hard to do that in the NFL. I get it. But look at their schedule. They see their schedule and they're not. Like, they're definitely thinking playoffs. They're definitely thinking we need to win each and every game that they go into. The defense last week, I mean, they're coming out their 2 best performances of the season in a row. They held the Rams to 17, the Bears to 16. They held the Bears to a 20% success rate on first down. That was the worst of week 8. You know, and I know that Caleb Williams, there's a lot of things that he has to do to get better, but this Bears offense has been pretty damn explosive and not necessarily on first down. So what I've seen this defense do, I was pretty impressed with it. I mean, outside of 2 sustained offensive drives, the Bears really did nothing. You take out the garbage time, the Bears only averaged 5.1 yards per play and almost 100 yards. You could take that off the board. This is not a bottom 5 defense like the numbers suggest. I think the secondary is strong if these young guys and Malachi and Wiggins continue to get better. The linebacker group is extremely strong if Roquan Smith is going to come back and play violent football like he usually does. And I'm starting to think maybe a future bet is in the works here because the Ravens offense, I think they're going to be an elite unit with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, be it he's healthy, right? This Dolphins team is a fade for me. I'm not going to lay the number. It's still, you know, we don't know exactly what we're going to see from Lamar Jackson, but these 2 teams are on different level. And the market history in this situation tells me that a money line or a teaser on the Ravens is perfectly viable. So that's what I did. I played the Ravens and the Bills in a teaser, Ravens -1, Bills +7.5. And I got the Ravens and a non-traditional Steelers +9 teaser that I can't wait to talk about later in the day.
Ravens -1, Bills +7.5 here, a teaser. Did you think about Ravens double result? And whenever you have an injury like Lamar is coming off of, we so often see if it's the hamstring, then it's the calf. If it's the calf, then it's the hamstring or the quad, that there's a tentative nature. We know that in football, if you hesitate, you get hurt. And I almost because I joined you on the Ravens futures at the beginning of the year. I feel like we need to see now. We'll lose the value if you want to double down. Yes, now is the time. But I want to see him play a couple games and get through them healthy and fine. It wouldn't surprise me for a second to see him go down again.
Right. I mean, he's been out for six weeks now. I mean, man, I know I've never had a hamstring injury, so I can't comment. But you're absolutely right. You know, your thigh, your femur is attached to your kneecap. Your kneecap's attached to your tibia. Like, it's all interconnected. When I started having problems with my toe, all of a sudden my hip flexors acting up and they're super tight, right? So I get it. Like, there's still risk, but with everything in life, there's risk, especially when you're betting against the bookies.
And the future market, of course. Terrence Fudd, the double, you might get a halftime, full-time on your book. We've been dealing with double results. You have to be ahead at halftime. If you're tied, you lose. You have to be ahead at halftime and win the game. That's pretty simple.
If you have Bet365 available, you got to go get it for double results.
And every week for me, it's the same. Every single week, I'm winning. If my double results every single week. So this past week, I went 3-1 plus 2.75 units.
Ravens minus 125.
Ravens double result minus 125. I'm interested in it. Do you think Lamar comes back slow? I mean, Donut Silk says I think Lamar comes back slow. Ravens shut down Miami under hits. Right now, the weather is pretty nice here for our Thursday night game. Pretty legit, comfortable weather like you would expect. A kickoff at 75 Fahrenheit, clear, 10 miles per hour winds.
I mean, I'm definitely interested. I'm going to need a little bit more time. I mean, I'm in. It's a little bit of a rush though, because it's minus 125 can turn to minus 140 if we start getting into 8.5 range. So. Yeah.
For me, I would like to watch this, and in fact, I'm not going to sit back and think, just because the Ravens shut down the Bears at home off of a bye week, just because the Dolphins shut down the Falcons because they had no concern with Drake London out and Kirk Cousins at quarterback that anybody was going to hurt them, in the passing game, so they could fill the box and stop Bijan. I don't want those two things that we just saw to take me to an under right now. So it just, I always tell you, in gambling, don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you see. And I'm hesitant to want to believe here. So at this point, I have interest in the Ravens double result. It may be something I move on. If it was to move from minus 125 to minus 140, that would not affect me at all. I would just bet a little bit more on it. I would have more confident to see the line moving in that direction. Remember, again, when this double result moves against you, it loses every single time. Did you notice that the Chiefs' double result was moving, becoming more and more. It was still expensive. It was still around minus 200, minus 19, but it was coming down, down, down. Of course, they don't cover the double result. So if it moves in the Ravens' direction, that will be fine. I think that's where I'm interested in coming. I do. I think that would be what is interesting me now. That is our Thursday night. Again, I'm almost going to go out and say it. I don't think I do not want to believe what we saw last week from these defenses. There's no reason for us to do that. The rush defense for the Ravens is 28th. The red zone defense is 26th. The third down defense is 28th. The pass rush is 29th. Yes, off of a break. They're an old defense. They shut down the Dolphins. But remember what the Steelers defense did after their bye week? They looked spectacular. Then they played 4 days later, and the Bengals put up, 31 points on them? Because this is an old defense too. An old defense going to go back again 72 hours later against the Dolphins defense that's ranked 27th pass defense, 24th rush defense, 27th third down defense, and the second worst pass rush in the league. So I get why you guys are leaning in that direction. Maybe some of you already bet it, but I'm not going to believe what I saw last week. So maybe that's going to take me to an over, honestly. Fading what we saw last week, understanding what these defenses really are. But again, I'm going to need more time and work on that one. So the only thing official at this point is a teaser. It's one of two for our guy Troy. Ravens -1, Bills +7.5 -120. Let's roll on to Sunday action. Sunday, November 2nd, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have the Chicago Bears 4-3, 2-2 on the road at the Cincinnati Bengals 3-5, 2-2 at home. And there we have AM on that over in Miami as well, and Dolphins +7.5. Here we're Paycor Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice weather on Sunday, 56 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into the line history here for this one. And attack. Line history-wise, we have a 52, and it got up to 53. Some books are still hanging 53s. This book got up to 53 and came down on Monday morning. No, sorry, came down on Monday afternoon back to 52. Now it's getting juiced again to the over to 52.5. You know, the whole late to the party, early to the funeral thought is mine here. But it looks like Trey Hendrickson's hurt. Looks like that hip injury is we'll see with the main injury report tomorrow. But I don't know why we would think that Cincinnati would be able to defend anybody. The question is the Bears the kind of team that you expect to put up points on the road? And I don't think they are. The Bears opened up, or the look ahead was +1. It was +1, and that was the case until it came out on Sunday night -1.5. So it was a big move through the look ahead. Then it opened up at the 1.5. It quickly got to 2.5. I guess I shouldn't say quickly. That took about 16 hours. Now it's come back a half point, but it's not really back because the -2 for the Bears, -123. So this market is really moving towards the Chicago Bears, and I think that does make some sense as it's a buy low opportunity. But you are talking about a Bears team that is a completely different team on the road than they are at home, and second straight road week. Cash flow wise here, we have 58% of tickets, 59% of cash on Chicago. I tend to trust this. I tend to trust what the market is doing. 88% of tickets and 87% of cash on the over. Let's talk
what
about
you have on the side, Jimmy. What was the cash flow splits you had on that again? Can you say the side?
58, 59. 58% of the tickets, 59% of cash on the Bears.
Yeah, pretty close. Okay.
58, 59. The Chicago Bears passing offense ranked 24th. Rushing offense is ranked 14th. I said a lot of bad things about DeAndre Swift. He's looked better than I expected over the last little bit. Red zone offense, 26th, 47.8%. Third down offense, 10th. They convert 41.1% of the time. Passing defense, 14th. Rush defense, 17th. Red zone defense, 24th. And third down defense, interestingly enough, is the second best in the NFL. But their pass rush is ranked 25th. It's a problem. They're coming off having their 4-game winning streak snapped to 30-16 loss at the Ravens team playing without starting quarterback Lamar Jackson. Noise-canceled score was a little better for the Bears. It was 30-21 Ravens. As I said, the Bears outgained the Ravens 372-355. They outgained the Ravens 125-8 in the first quarter, but led only 6-0. And as gamblers, we all know when your team is dominating a first period or a first quarter or a first half or whatever sport that you are watching, dominating, and you have almost nothing to show for it, you know what's going to happen. You're in big trouble. And that's what happened here. Caleb Williams is 25 of 38 for 285 yards, no touchdowns in the pick. He also ran 3 times for 24 yards. Odunze caught 7 for 114. DeAndre Swift ran 11 times for 45 yards, touchdown, caught 2 for 26. They were 6 of 13 on third down, but just 1 of 3 in the red zone. This red zone has been a real problem all year. The defense couldn't stop journeyman third stringer Snoop Huntley. They let Huntley put up 6 yards per play. I mean, that's insane. Now they held the Ravens to 3-6 in the red zone. The 25th ranked pass rush was quiet, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. The Bears came in with an NFL best turnover margin of +11. You guys know what I said about the Jaguars. I said it's luck. It's fucking luck. Yeah, you need ball hawk, but it's luck. And the luck is going to change everything. You think they have a 4-game winning streak if they're not winning every turnover battle? They finished the game -1 in the turnover department and lost. Now they have defensive back Tyreek Stevenson out with a shoulder injury. Kyler Gordon out with the groin calf injuries. Dominique Robinson, defensive end, hurt his ankle. It's a high ankle sprain. Now he's out for a few weeks. Defensive lineman Shamar Turner left with a knee injury. That's a season-ending ACL tear. He's out. Wide receiver Luther Burden is in concussion protocol. Olamide Zacchaeus is day-to-day with a knee injury. Check out that Wednesday injury report. Cole Kmet, Rashawn Johnson were inactive last week and are questionable this week. This is a team dealing with a lot of injuries. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. After that breakdown, I don't think I want them. I understand they're the sharp side. Passing offense 17th for the Bengals, rushing offense 9th. This rushing offense was atrocious for a while. It's so interesting when crazy arm Flacco comes back there. Then the running game starts to improve because the secondary starts, adding members to it and leaving members from the box. Third down offense 14th, red zone offense 9th. That's a pretty good offensive profile. Passing defense 25th, rush defense 31st, red zone defense 30th, third down defense 31st, pass rush 24th. So what did we do last week? We said that it didn't matter that the Jets don't score, that 22.5 and 44 is too low. The Bears don't score a lot on the road, and now we're dealing with a 52.5. Honestly, it feels like the people hammering this over are late to the party and early to the funeral. That's my feeling with it right now. The Bengals coming off a 39-38 home loss to the lowly Jets. Noise canceled score was 40-36 Jets. Flacco 21-34 for 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Chase caught 12 for 91. Third straight game with double-digit receptions. What a beast. Samaje Perine ran 9 times for 94 yards and a touchdown. The offense is not the problem. They gained 398 total yards, went 3 of 4 in the red zone. The defense looked pitiful. Allowed the Jets to put up 502 yards, 7.2 yards per play. So you're probably sitting there going, well, if the Jets can do that, won't the Bears do that? And that's fair. That is a completely fair argument to have. They allowed the Jets to put up 254 yards on the ground. Can the Bears do that? I don't know if they can. 24th ranked pass rush could do nothing. 0 sacks, 1 quarterback hit. Trey Hendrickson left the game. He was back for a half. He aggravated his hip injury. He was extremely angry. Threw his helmet on the ground. Clearly looks like it's a problem. They allowed the Jets to go 9 of 18 on 3rd and 4th down, 3 of 5 in the red zone. Linebacker Shaka Hayward left in the first quarter with a fibula injury. It's a hairline fracture, and now he will be out indefinitely. Take it away here for us, Troy Torrence. Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, immediately when I looked at this game, I seen the strength of the market and how the scales were completely tipping towards the Chicago Bears. And I just faded this Bears team. I don't like backing this Bears team, and it's been 3 years now that I've said the same thing about them. And this was just a situation where I knew where this line was heading, and it was really hard to explain. We're seeing AM post his model in the chat. The Bears are supposed to be plus 6.5 on the road here, and that's a wild number. I don't know how you get that big of discrepancies, but I do know because I built these models and I've seen these massive discrepancies. And I think to myself, like, are my models really better than the book? And I seen these scales tipping. I bet the Bears money line at minus 130. I posted it in Discord as soon as I did because I seen this coming. And I the strength of the market is really what my entire bet is predicated on. Who am I to say that the Bears shouldn't be 3-point favorites after what happened last week? I just faded them on a with like a max bet, and I did put a little bit of a hedge to take it off the max status, but they were in a terrible spot last week. The ultimate sell high. Then they get embarrassed by a quarterback that wasn't on the roster a week ago. And I know it's a little bit different because Huntley and the Ravens, they're like peanut butter and jelly at this point. Like I talk about this Bears team. I mean, a lot of these handicaps on these teams really haven't changed in a while. I mean, they got a great offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson, an offensive line that's top 10 in both pass block and run blocking category. You put that on film, and it looks every bit as real as what the PFF grades are showing. They have weapons all over the field. I still wish they had a better, more traditional running back than Swift, but Ben Johnson's going to be able to scheme him into good situations, and they need Caleb Williams to be the glue. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing every week. He does get slightly better, and Ben Johnson made some comments about Caleb Williams this past week that we haven't seen from Ben Johnson. Usually he's throwing shade his way. This week he actually cut him some slack, it felt like, and I think that tells me he sees growth. Caleb Williams is doing what Ben Johnson's asking, so eventually, hopefully things click. But he struggles to read defenses after the snap. I mean, like I say every week, I can't put my finger on this metric. I have no evidence to back it up, but I bet you he has the lowest percentage of passing yards from the pocket in the entire NFL. But he's still an elite talent. You could see it. Evidenced by the throw he made on the final drive of the game. I mean, that was the most ridiculous throw I've ever seen. He just it's like self-sabotage almost when he's in the pocket. And I'm not a big fan of this Bears offense. But luckily, they match up with this Bengals defense, allowing 35 points per game over the last 6 weeks. And that was against a mix of trash and elite offenses. The bottom of the bottom, the Jets and the Steelers, two non-explosive, non-productive offenses dropped 39 and 31. Then the Jets posted the highest first down success rate in week 8. The Jets. The running back position ran the ball for 8 yards per carry. That's insanity. I know Ben Johnson's going to be able to scheme up some runs, and this rushing game will get going. Justin Fields averaged 60 passing yards in his prior 2 games before he walked into Cincinnati and threw for 244. This Bengals defense, I thought that they needed to make some splash plays. They needed to do something to try to just create turnovers because the personnel's not there. And if Hendrickson is not on the field, and I doubt he will be, I know the Bears are missing defensive assets themselves, but Hendrickson matters immensely for those splash plays that I'm talking about because I feel like that's their only shot. And I just feel like the Bears are going to face the least path of resistance on both sides of the ball. They have the better coaching staff. They're better in the trenches on both sides of the ball. The QB position is essentially a wash, given Flacco is a statue. And in the worst case scenario, both defenses are a wash. So what am I going to I'm going to let the market dictate my action because it's telling us the Bears are going to get the job done. So I got the Bears money line minus 130.
That all makes sense. The breakdown all makes sense to me. I guess the one thing we could do here is roll through exactly what they have done on the road, because I close my eyes when I think of the Chicago Bears. I think of them destroying Dallas at home, annihilating a good Cowboys team at home. Now we just saw the Broncos do that, but I don't think the Bears are quite up, to the Broncos. So looking at these road games, they lose by 31 at Detroit. They beat Vegas by a point. That looks worse now. They beat the Commanders by a point. And, obviously that was extremely fortunate.
6.5 yards per play. And they got absolutely ripped off on the penalties.
Yeah, look, I'm
not making a case for the Raiders game, and I'm going to make it. But I will say the Lions game was a powder keg Lions team coming home off getting embarrassed. Everyone gets crushed in that spot. The Raiders, there's no excuse. The offense looked like trash. Caleb Williams looked terrible, and then the Commanders. I think that that shouldn't be. I feel like that's a plus for the Bears offense or Bears team.
Yeah, no, I think it's. Like everything that you're doing now is valid. You've beaten the line move and you're probably in good shape. The Bears are a better team than the Bengals. Both teams were embarrassed last week. Bears are traveling again for a second week. Bengals are at home, after giving the Jets their first win of the season.
What do you think about the second week? I think the second week on the road is kind of where that'd be the bye situation, but they weren't. It's not like they were at home for all that long. So I don't know I don't know.
Look, I think you can feel comfortable with the spot. You've beaten the line move. I'm going to need to sit with it for longer. I'm certainly not going to back the Bengals. I love seeing AM's confidence in the Bengals. I don't want to back the Bengals. I don't want to back either team here. And I was so confident with the over a week ago. Everybody then sees 77 points and the over gets smashed. I don't join that party either. That's not how I gamble either. So at this point, it looks like I'll just stay off. I'm very curious to see what happens to this move. I imagine.
Here you go, Jimmy. Here you go. Home dogs that open between +1 and +2 and close between +1 and +3 are 9 and 21 ATS. That's 30%. And if the total is greater than 46.5, high total, 1 in 10 ATS and straight up, 8 and 3 to the under.
I wonder how high it gets. If it gets up to 54, would I want to try to get underneath it?
I'm starting to get underneath it because even on the first sample, the 21 and 9 sample in favor of the Bears, 22 and 8 on the total, 74% to the under. And it looks like it only gets stronger. I bet you it's a case where it gets stronger as the total ticks up. Let's see.
And AM says the same thing. He says if it gets to 54, he'll try to get underneath it 100%. And the weather looks really nice at this point, Deacon, but things can change. Let's roll on. Troy has moved on the Bears minus 130. We roll on. Next spot on the board for us, 1 p.m. Eastern. The Minnesota Vikings, 3-4, 2-2 on the road. At the Detroit Lions, 5-2, 3-0 at home at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Good God, did the Vikings look horrific. Still trying to get over it, how bad they looked at SoFi. We have a total here at 47.5, minus 115 to the over. We had a look ahead. It was 48.5. It then became available a little after midnight Monday morning, Sunday night at 48, dropped down to 47.5. It is slightly juiced to the over at 47.5, but it's moving down. From a point spread perspective here, we have Detroit minus 9, minus 105. Look ahead was 7.5. Came out on Sunday night at 8.5, quickly moved to 9.5. Then there was buyback, a point of buyback to 8.5. Now we're sitting just at a flat 9. It's not quite a flat 9. It's just to Minnesota. So I'm looking at the 9 here, but I see 8.5s and I see 9.5s. So the books are still kind of trying to figure stuff out on the side. From a cash flow standpoint here, we have 93% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Detroit Lions. Very public. We don't have total information here with the odds logic, but if I can go over to action, I can pull up the total action. I should probably have it up anyways because we'll be talking about money line spots on a couple of these games. But from a total standpoint here, again, I don't know how much faith we want to have in this book, but we have 56% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on the under. Supposedly the same thing's going on in the Bengals game. 71% of the tickets, 71% of cash on the under. It's very hard to believe. Dougie Y says has to be a Viking spot. As bad as they looked, I think they can cover here. Vincent Hawkins on the Vikings team total under. It is McCarthy going to be in quarterback, chosen one for Minnesota. Passing offense, the worst in the NFL, 32nd. Rushing offense, 25th. Red zone offense, 20th. Third down offense, 27th. This team's only converting 1 out of every 3 third downs. Passing defense, 23rd. Rush defense, 18th. Pass rush, 19th. I mean, I would not have guessed this with Flores' defense. Coming into the year, it looked quite strong. Red zone defense, 9th. Line touchdowns, 52.4%. Time and third down defense, 9th. 36.1. JM looking at Detroit double result. I took a look at it as well. Vikings come in off extra rest and prep after getting dismantled in an ugly 37-10 loss at the Chargers on Thursday night. Noise canceled score was 33-6. It was right there. Vikings were outgained 419 to 164. It was ugly. Carson Wentz was 15 of 27 for 144 yards, touchdown and a pick. Then he leaves with a shoulder injury. He's undergone season-ending surgery, done for the year. McCarthy is expected to return this week. Max Brosmer will be his backup moving forward. The offensive line didn't help Wentz, sacked 5 times. Jefferson led receivers with 7 catches for 74 yards, but no other receiver caught for more than 26 yards. Aaron Jones returned from injury, but the run game was nowhere to be found. Jones ran 5 times for 15 yards. Mason ran 4 times for 3 yards. Offense averaged 3.5 yards per play, 3 of 12 on 3rd and 4th down, 1 opportunity red zone. Defense looked lost. Flores' group couldn't get stops. Allowed the Chargers to go 9 of 13 on 3rd down, 3 of 4 in the red zone. Chargers held on the ball for 39 minutes and 4 seconds of the game. Pass rush finished with 2 sacks and 8 quarterback hits. Medalist had an interception. Okuda left in the third quarter with a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. Christian Darrisaw with a knee injury and tight end Josh Oliver with a foot injury. Both got hurt. Their list is questionable this week, and Van Ginkel was inactive and sorely missed. I thought he was going to play last week. I wonder if he'll be able to play this week. Important to that defense. For the Lions here, 21st ranked passing offense and 18th ranked rushing offense. I mean, do we believe those numbers? It's wild. Looking at Detroit Lions, 21st ranked passing offense, 18th ranked rushing offense, and 22nd third down offense, converting 37.7% of the time. It's hard to fathom. Red zone offense is 4th. They get touchdowns 72.4% of the time. And then their defense is strong. Passing defense ranked 4th. Rush defense ranked 4th. Pass rush ranked 3rd. Red zone defense 23rd. Third down defense 14th. And they come in off their bye week. Last seen a 24-9 week 7 home victory over the Bucs. Noise canceled score was 22-11. Jahmyr Gibbs was dominant. First player in franchise history and 10th in NFL history to have 135 yards rushing, 80 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns in one game. He's 5th in the NFL with 720 yards from scrimmage, 2nd with 526 rushing, 3rd in the league with 6 touchdowns on the ground. But Detroit had 3 starters in the secondary out with injuries, and a fourth, and Brian Branch suspended by the NFL for 1 game for throwing a punch and triggering that post-game melee in Kansas City. The team also had 4 defensive backs on injured reserve. So here you have this depleted offense, and the Lions allow a season-low 9 points. They broke up 12 passes. I mean, it's Campbell just gets more out of players than any coach I've ever seen before. This pass defense, with all the missing pieces, broke up 12 passes, had 4 sacks, 1 interception, recovered a fumble. Terrion Arnold is going to be returning out of the bye. They're not confirming it, but he's going to help with that cornerback rotation with Amik Robertson and Rocky Sin. Also, they've opened up their 21-day practice clock for Malcolm Rodriguez and safety Daniel Thomas. Rodriguez was practicing today. He's been out of action since suffering the ACL injury last November. Zach Cunningham is on IR, so Rodriguez is a big help here. Branch comes back from his suspension. Also, all-pro safety Kirby Joseph's knee injury now he might not go this week, but he's coming back at some point soon. DJ Reed has 1 more game left on his 4-game IR stint. Avonte Maddox is also returned to practice. There's a lot of players coming back here, and I don't know why they wouldn't destroy Minnesota. If JJ McCarthy is an upgrade after watching for longer from Carson Wentz, if that's possible, then why wouldn't this game soar over? These aren't the Vikings that we remember with a tough defense. Maybe the fact that we just watched the 23-9 Tampa Bay game help us enormously, because we've been betting unders in all Tampa Bay games. Why aren't points scored in Detroit on Sunday? Torrence, take it away.
I was thinking the same thing in this game, to be honest. And there's other games, too, that I was thinking about the over, and I just can't get out of my head that last week overs were 10-2. Favorites cleaned up at 85% or 83%, and totals went over at 85% clip. I mean, that's – so I made a graphic. I posted on X about how favorites cover, and then you could see how they how they fared in the following week, where there's, a week where a lot of favorites cover. What happens in the following week. I'm going to do the same with totals, because I noticed that this morning. I just haven't been able to follow up, because it'd be interesting to see if you see a ton of overs in one week, what happens the following week, because I mean, we see that push-pull chemistry week to week in a lot of sports, day to day, or morning slate to night slate. But we're starting to find out a lot about this Vikings and Flores defense. I mean, it's very effective versus the right quarterback and the right type of offense. It's extremely ineffective versus elite quarterbacks who have the right personnel, as evidenced by the Chargers this past week. And every time that Jared Goff has seen this defense, he's been able to expose them. It's a zone blitz scheme with cover 4 characteristics. That's going to leave a lot of holes when you're blitzing and you can't get pressure with 4 defenders. And I love it, though. I mean, I love what he's trying to do. It's just you got to be able to reduce the amount of blitzing, because when everyone's keying the number 2 receiver, you're going to be a little bit slow reacting to run pass, and that's another problem. If you're going to be able to generate offensive, yards on the ground, which the Lions have consistently done against this Vikings team, that's when things just open up. So, I definitely see this Lions offense having their way with the Vikings defense. And the Vikings, I feel like the offense for this Vikings team is in massive trouble. JJ McCarthy, what he's put on tape so far this season, I know it's not enough to really get a full sample of what this kid could bring. But, I agreed with Gorky. I was like, yeah, Wentz is the better option in any one-game sample. But it's clear that the Vikings have a higher ceiling with JJ under center and seeing what they got there. But it's going to take time, even if he is the guy, for him to adapt to the game. And I still highly doubt his abilities, even in college. Michigan wasn't winning because of McCarthy. They were winning with McCarthy. And he doesn't have a rushing attack. That McCarthy, he doesn't have a run game that he can lean on to relieve some of the responsibility and the pressure. The Vikings are a team that, that shouldn't be playing to win. They should be playing to grow. And that's something that's reflected in this spread. I don't think they're going to be – I think they just – if I was a coach with this team right now, I'd be wanting to grow and not worry necessarily about winning. And I mean, this defense for the Lions, I am absolutely loving what I'm seeing. I mean, nobody believed in what was going to happen with Tampa Bay when they were going into Detroit. We've seen Amik Robertson play in the NFL before. I mean, he's now an NFL caliber defender, especially in man coverage. And after watching tape on Yasin, he plasters on the offense, and he can make tackles. He's an incredible talent. And I was just shocked. I mean, what I learned about this Lions team is after all the injuries that they sustained last year, I feel like they came ready. I feel like they have depth. And that's great because if they're at full strength, it's terrifying. The pass rush with Hutch, I mean, he might be the white version of Myles Garrett. Too complimentary. I love the linebackers who complement each other. One's great in pass coverage. One's great against the run. One great's rushing the passer. And a young secondary with depth. I mean, this team is definitely going to be competing for a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Market history is not very expansive, being that this is in division and we're right around this number 10, so it's a very small sample that we could work with. It's not even worth it to me moving on this game. I just feel like, especially with the unknowns around J.J. McCarthy. So I'm long-winded to say I'm passing.
I get that. I still think that this is one total that we can take advantage of.
But how is JJ going to produce? And the line, you would just expect the Lions to just continue scoring?
Well, I don't see why the Lions would not score. There's no reason why they're not. Like I think that
what's the case for the Vikings offense to score? I guess that'd be my question.
Well, I think that the case, honestly, would be based within the market. This would already be a 10 and climbing. Every single person is betting the Lions. How in the world did it go from 9.5 to 8.5? We never see that unless the public's going to take a bath. So
I got some good news for you, man. I definitely got some good news for you. Let's just see how wide of a range. I mean, this exact price range between 8 and 9.5, total greater than 44, 5-0 to the over. Only 5 games with this type of market. That's why I was talking about the extremely small sample. It's just really weird. And all these, I mean, this is definitely the Lions are part of this sample as well. I could get it. I definitely get the over in this game.
WY says that's why he can't bet the Lions. Every dollar's on the Lions. I'm going to be very curious to see, what happens with this market. That first Wednesday of the basketball season, I took the Bucks over the Wizards, and 95% of the cash was on the Bucks, and I've never done that before, and it cashed. They won by 13. They were 10-point favorites. So it's possible that the public can win in these situations. I expect 9 of every $10 to come in on the Lions. We have one site here saying that the Lions have 93% of the tickets and 82% of the cash. This site says 89% of the tickets and 93% of the cash. Well, then this should move to a 10. And so those of you who already are on the Lions at 8.5, you want this to close at 10.5, sit back, feel great, go get that cash. If it doesn't, there should be some concern. But why wouldn't the Lions smash and grab these Vikings off of the bye week? Is there a concern that because the Lions are in such a good place that maybe they're not a powder keg situation right now? They don't need to explode. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. Coming off of a bye week, could have a slow start. I mean,
I think there's a case for that. There's definitely a case for that.
So, I mean, notice not one person is on the Vikings. And
I know. I would. I usually in this type of spot, I'd be on the Lions with a teaser and a money line parlay or something, double result. But I'm not even interested right now, and it's because of the market history. I see overs and I see road team covers, so that doesn't match my handicap. So it's like I just want to just let this one go, essentially.
And Ski Profit in the house. Great to see you, Ski. Says the Lions have covered with the public on their backs a lot this season.
Oh, absolutely. That's the past few seasons too, especially at the house, man.
Yeah. I mean, who can come up with a possible argument to back the Vikings? I mean, it's not possible. Other than
the market, other than we're not looking at a 10.
Yeah. Nothing from X's and O's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely not.
If the Lions don't start out sloppy, and it's hard to think of a Campbell coach team starting out kind of lethargic, but then I don't see how this game doesn't go over, even though it's the Lions defense that has been their strong point so far this year. Their red zone defense, I mean, they're allowing a lot of touchdowns. That's their only weak spot. So that is Vikings Lions here, and a lot of just caution right now in what is clearly a very one-sided spot. And I'm okay with that right now. I'm okay with that. So let's roll on. Rose Putt saying, I hate giving almost 10 to a division opponent. Let's roll on.
We're
Next
starting
up,
with a lot of games I really don't have a lot on, but yeah, I have a lot of highly flavored opinions coming up on some of these spots. So,
and Kripke, it's not Carson Wentz is done for the year, my man. So it's not Carson Wentz, it's JJ McCarthy. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board, Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. 48 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 15 mile per hour winds. I say 50 mile per hour winds, and I immediately think of how the Chiefs weather on the Monday night was supposed to be 15 mile per hour winds, and we get there and it's 4 mile per hour winds. So things change. Don't put too much into we still cashed our unders. It wasn't predicated on the wind strength, but these weather reports 5 days early, we should take, with a grain of salt. Panthers, Cowboys here. Let's set up this line history and get into the cash flow. Dougie Wise says, I think Green Bay rolls. We have Green Bay 13-point favorites. I mean, it's just a enormous amount of points. They were 10.5-point favorites on the look ahead. It reemerges Sunday night minus 11. Then it goes to 12.5, and now we're at 13. And that's a ton of points. Let's get to this total. From a total side of things, you have a 44. The look ahead was 43.5. Reemerged Monday morning at 44.5. Got up to 45 and then dropped down to 44. We go to the cash flow for this spot. We have 91% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on Green Bay. It's a lot of money. If you want to compare this to the Lions game, this line is moving drastically towards Green Bay. It's very different. You see this and you think, wow. I mean, what's the first thing it reminds you of is the Chiefs. Now, I know that the Chiefs came all the way back to the 10, which was mind-boggling. But the Chiefs had that same move. Maybe this comes back as well. We'll see. 60% of tickets on the under, 93% of cash on under. We've just seen this slight move back to the under. So we'll start with the Panthers here. A passing offense ranked 22nd. Rushing offense ranked 7th, although we didn't get too much of an indication of that in their loss to the Bills. Their red zone offense 14th. Third down offense 23rd. Pass defense 20th. Rush defense 19th. Red zone defense 13th. Third down defense is 25th. Line conversions 42.1% of the time. And their pass rush is 30th. Coming off an ugly 49 home loss to the Bills to snap their three-game winning streak and 3-game home winning streak. PFF noise canceled score was slightly better at 34-12. Panthers were outgained 410 to 244. It was 40-3 heading into the fourth quarter. Bryce Young injured. Andy Dalton came in and did not look good. Young is expected to practice all week in hopes that he can play Sunday. The offensive line certainly did not help Dalton. He was sacked 7 times, and we know why. During the game, they lost 3 offensive linemen, and things just fell apart. So right tackle Taylor Motton with the knee injury. Guard Brady Christensen with the Achilles injury. That's done for the year. So Christensen's done for the year. And then their center Cade Mays to an ankle injury. Well, we know what happens to teams when they lose 3 of 5 starting offensive linemen, especially one as good as Motton. Well, they fell apart. So Motton and Mays are listed as questionable at this point. Look, the Red Rifle sucked. 16-24, 175 yards, no touchdowns in the pick, lost 2 fumbles. McMillan finished with 7 catches for 99 yards. He looks like a legit WR1. Rico Daddle, 8 carries for 54 yards. They were so far behind, they stopped running the ball. The offense finished 4 of 11 on third, 1 of 2 in the red zone. The defense couldn't get stops. They were gashed on the ground. James Cook ran for a career-high 216 yards, 2 touchdowns in 3 quarters. It was just 3 quarters. Bills got 6.8 yards per play, 7 of 12 on third down, 2 of 3 in the red zone. The pass rush was meek, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. Linebacker Trevor Wallace left with concussion in the second half. And then Derek Brown left the game in the fourth quarter with a knee injury. Wallace is in protocol. Brown has said this is not a serious injury, and I'm going to try to play this week. Again, he's going to be questionable on the injury reports, and we got to keep an eye on it. For these Packers, passing offense ranked 6th, rushing offense 24th, which is a surprise. We were talking about Jacobs being sick for 2 weeks. Well, supposedly he wasn't sick this week, and Emmanuel Wilson got more carries. So it's something to keep an eye out for. Red zone offense ranked 7th, third down offense ranked 2nd. It's a hell of a football team. Passing defense ranked 2nd, rush defense 8th, red zone defense 21st. They do allow touchdowns 63.2% of the time. Third down defense 5th, pass rush 5th. I mean, this is as complete as we're seeing of a team in the NFL right now. They're coming off an impressive 35-25 victory at Pittsburgh. It was Sunday Night Football. There was so much on the line. Is there any concern of being ready to go here against the lowly Panthers? I wonder. Packers outgained the Steelers 454-295. The noise canceled score was 32-24 Packers. Jordan Love was 29-37 for 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Franchise record tying 20 straight completions. I mean, he was the monster. Tucker Kraft caught 7 for 143 and 2 touchdowns. We had a whole bunch of cappers on that touchdown prop on our live stream. Couple had the 2 touchdown prop. It was great to see. Christian Watson, 4 receptions for 85 yards in his return from the torn ACL. He looked great. Emmanuel Wilson, as I said, 11 carries for 61 yards. The defense held the Steelers to 1 of 10 on third down and offered them just 1 red zone try. Pass rush had 3 sacks and 5 quarterback hits. Linebacker Nick Neiman left in the second half with a chest injury. They think it's a torn pectoral, but they haven't announced it yet. Wide receiver Dontavian Hicks and defensive end Lucas Van Ness were inactive last week. Are listed as questionable this week. Take it away for us here, Troy Torrence. Is this a spot where maybe the Packers aren't locked in early? I liked what the Panthers were capable of doing on the road, playing, in my estimation, towards unders, running the ball a lot. At home, they seem to be putting up points, but on the road, I think we could count on unders. I see why there's sharp action on the under here. The under is appealing to me, but we need the Panthers to slow down the Packers. Take it away for us here, Troy. Panthers, Packers.
Do you expect Dalton or Bryce Young?
Dalton is my expectation is it's Bryce Young.
Yeah, mine as well. Okay, good. I want to be on the same page as you, especially if we're looking towards the under. But I will start with, and this is the exact opposite. I mean, the market is extremely efficient, surprisingly, in this range. Home teams that close between -11 and -14 after the line moved towards them. 13-6 ATS, 17-2 straight up, 50-50 on the total. But if it's a non-conference game, 6-0 ATS and straight up, and the wins are absolutely just wallopings. The number alone is telling me that the bookies, the respect the bookies have for the Packers, it's the highest degree. I just don't like getting involved with these massive spreads because I do think that the number is kind of telling of what's going to happen in this game. And I think the Packers overcoming their special teams woes and miscues early in the game last night. But looking at down-to-down football, the Packers were dominant, posting a success rate above average on each and every down. And I think that Jordan Love, I think he's elite, okay? His spray chart is that of a Pro Bowler, a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's what it's looking like this season. Go back and check some of the greats. You'll see a very similar spray chart. He's elite in the intermediate and deep passing game. He could drive the ball outside of both, to the left and to the right, outside of the numbers. There's one element that I'm noticing where Jordan Love struggles, and it's against man coverage, particularly the man blitz. He really struggled. He looked uncertain. This is 2 weeks now that I'm thinking of. It's versus the Browns and versus last night against the Steelers, who played quite a bit of man coverage, especially on third down. He looked uncertain, and, some of those passes that were severely underthrown were caught, and they actually turned into positive plays. So got a little bit lucky yesterday, but I really believe in what Jordan Love is doing. And the Packers defense, it's at this point, you got to consider a top 10 defense. They're top 10 in every PFF category: run defense, tackling, pass rush, coverage. Hafley's pioneering what I believe to be, new ways to play defense in the NFL. I guess it's really just rotational because at this point, pretty much every type of coverage from every position on the field has been used, except for a guy on the front on the line dropping into a quarter or a deep third. That's the only thing we haven't seen yet. I love this Packers team, especially in this spot. I think the Panthers have been overrated based on what they've done. Like this team has wins against the Jets, the Dallas Cowboys, Miami, and Atlanta. All of those have major asterisks. They got outgained by 2 yards per play against Atlanta, but won 30-0. Packers off a road win on prime time. Panthers off a blowout loss at home. That's the only reason I haven't bet this spot. I don't love these big spreads, and then you got the Panthers off a blowout loss where they've been much better at home. So I don't know how they're going to respond here. I think the Panthers were kind of overrated. Or, people want to buy the Panthers due to their resume, which I think is soft.
If the Panthers don't have 3 of their starting offensive linemen, it'll be the same reason why we cash the under in Chiefs Commanders, because one team can't score. And that will be the Panthers here, and we'll cash the first half under and cash the full game under. The Packers will never be pressured to do anything. They'll never be forced to go score for score. Bryce Young is better, in my estimation, than the Red Rifle. Bryce Young will get a few enough first downs with Rico Dowdle, and Tet, but both of them are able to, move the chains once in a while. The more that I am sitting with this, the more appealing.
I want to say this about the total, because it's a similar spot, very similar spot to a total I bet later in the day with the Rams and the Saints, and that 44.5. These totals between 44.5 and 47, like between the 44 and the 47, essentially, right? The key numbers 44, 47. They just go over at a ridiculous clip, especially when the bigger the spread, the more likely they are to go over. But as soon as these big spreads and the line moves from 44.5, 45 down to 44, 43, it's hammer the under. Hammer it. So I think it's heading that direction. I think it's going to be heading that direction, to be honest. It ticked up right off the bat. It got bought back down as soon as limits increased. I think this is going to be heading towards 43.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. And then the question is, do you want to wait till you get the information on the offensive line? By the time that information comes out, this will have dropped. If it comes out, in a way where they're saying Panthers are not going to have an offensive line. We know what this Packers pass rush is going to do.
And the Packers have a solid run defense. It's not like I even – yeah. I think you're going to see this. I think you're right. I think we're going to be closing pretty damn low here, man. I think we're going to be heading down. Like we've been killing we've been getting so much CLV, Jimmy. It's ridiculous. Outside of that Ravens game, obviously, but I mean, I think this is a spot where we're going to see. You could realize CLV by taking the 44.5.
Yeah, I think this is. This is unders. You guys know that I've been doubling up on all the unders. Not splitting a unit, but putting a unit on each. It's worked very well. It's worked well for 2 reasons. And I've been thinking a lot about it. First off, and most importantly, if you're putting 2 units on a total, you have to have real conviction. It can't be like, oh, I kind of like it. I think it'll go that way. No, now it's, I love this spot because I'm betting double what I'm putting on my side. Now, some sides we're going first half and full game or 1 and double result and things of that nature. Secondly, we see hijinks at the end of games. How many times has your first half under being glorious and then the full game under loses? This time, now when it happens to me, I've cashed the first half already and I'm not angry. It's been working and working and working and working. Now for you guys can just split a unit if you want. But I really think making it 2 units forces you to have more conviction than you've ever had on a total. The amount of totals I'm betting has gone down, and the amount of units I'm winning has gone up. But again, we can talk more about that stuff, more of the psychological shit behind these things later. But it's working for me, and I want it to work for you guys too. I think this is a first half under and full game under. I think that the Panthers are not going to be able to score, and the Packers are just going to slow the game down to a crawl. I mean, the only reason why the Chiefs put up a ton of points there at the beginning of the third quarter was because they had to. They had a couple picks. It was 7-7. The game was up in the air. If the score was 17-3 at halftime, you know what Reed would have done? He would have slowed that game down to a crawl. So I expect this to be the first on the board for me. First half under, full game under. Panthers, Packers. Anything you want to add to this, my man?
No, I'm ready to move on.
Let's do exactly that. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Chargers, 5-3, 2-1 on the road. Tennessee Titans, 1-7, 0-3 at home. We're at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. 61 Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 5-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have a total of 44. This opened up at 43.5. Or sorry, the look ahead was 43.5. It opened up on Monday night at 44 and has not moved since it became available. From a point spread standpoint here, we have the Chargers minus 9.5 or 10. The look ahead was minus 8. And then the look ahead, of course, with the question marks around what the Chargers have been doing for 4 straight weeks, and you know, is Alt going to be healthy? Are these? You have game 2 with Perryman and Khalil Mack, and question marks abound. And then they looked spectacular. They looked like and we'll get into it, but I talked about the ratings not making sense from what we're seeing on the field. Well, that was the number 1 ranked rushing offensive attack with Joe Alt on the line to be able to dominate like that with Kamani Vidal, like a Troy Trojan, and dominate. I mean, so now you realize why the PFF numbers were the way they were and what this team looks like when they are healthy, and they look very tough. Now, can they stay healthy? Because Derwin James hurt now too, but we'll get into all of that. Then this moves to 10. So it's a pretty, I think just the reopening of the line at 9.5 is strong enough. I wouldn't necessarily need the line to move that much to be interested in it. Let's get into the cash flow here let's move into the cash flow here next with the Chargers Titans. We have 90% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Chargers. So very, very public, these big numbers. We've watched a lot of them cash over the last few years, these double-digit favorites, and they're very public. Here at a different book, it's 84 and 80, or a different site, I should say. On the total, we have 45% of tickets on the over and 74% of cash on the under. Excuse me. Sorry, let me say that again. Too many numbers, too quick. 45% of tickets on the over and 74% of cash on that over. Let's set up the Chargers here. 5th ranked passing offense, 1st ranked rushing offense, 27th ranked red zone offense. It's been a problem all year. I think it has to do with the offensive line. You saw how many of Herbert's passes were getting tipped at the line of scrimmage. And so I really do think that if he gets protection, he's got weapons, despite the injuries at running back, that number will change, because their 3rd down offense is the best in the NFL. Number 1, they're converting 48.7% of the time. It's impressive. Passing defense ranked 5th, rush defense ranked 12th, red zone defense ranked 7th, 3rd down defense ranked 15th, and the pass rush 23rd. But again, you get Mack and Perryman back. You have Owe now getting comfortable. It looks like a much tougher unit. They only had one guy dominating, and now there's a chance to have a few different assets. Chargers bounced back from their 38-24 loss at home to the Colts by beating up on the Vikings 37-10 at home on Thursday night. Noise canceled score was 33-6 Chargers. Extra rest and prep for this matchup. Joe Alt returned from injury, and the group looked excellent. Chargers outgained the Vikings 419-164. They scored 30 points or more for the first time and didn't punt. That's the first time it did that this year. Herbert was 18-25 for 227 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Also ran 7 for 62. We talked about Kamani Vidal. God, I mean, it looked like he was burning Sunbelt defenders again. Remember that senior year, right? I mean, the junior year he ran for like 11 or 1,200 yards, but the senior year he was just a monster, running for like 1,700 yards. It was that guy again. 23 carries, 117 yards. As a team, they ran 43 times for 207 yards and a touchdown. Ladd led receivers with 6 catches for 88 and a touchdown. And then Aronde Gadsden next with 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. If Gadsden gets hot, I mean, they have weapons. 9 of 13 on 3rd down, 3 of 4 in the red zone, and held on the ball for 39 minutes. Pass rush looked healthy. 5 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, dominated the Vikings, held the Vikings to 3 of 11 on 3rd down, offered them 1 red zone opportunity. Mickens had his first career interception, but Derwin James suffered a low ankle sprain. It's a low ankle sprain, so it's just day-to-day. Mekhi Becton got hurt too with an ankle injury. He's listed as questionable this week. Cornerback Tarheeb still is going to miss 2 to 4 weeks with an MCL sprain. Safety Tony Jefferson injured his hamstring in the game. He's listed as questionable. So again, teams don't usually get healthier. They keep dealing with injuries. Injuries keep piling up. Some guys come back, but then you lose more guys, and that's sort of what's happening. But we saw the difference with this offense with Joe Alt, and it just made me sad that there was no Rashawn Slater. I mean, God, how many futures would we have on the Chargers if they had Alt and Slater? Let's talk about the Titans because they are trash. Passing offense, 29th. Rushing offense, 31st. Third down offense, the worst in the league. Red zone offense, 22nd. Pass defense, 24th. Rush defense, 21st. Red zone defense, 15th. Third down defense, 22nd. Pass rush, 21st. I've got the Saints to be the worst team in the NFL this year at a decent number, and they're under 4.5 wins, but it really feels like the Titans are the worst team in the NFL. The only way I can still catch the Saints is if Cam Ward can step up. Coming off a 38-14 loss to Indianapolis, noise-canceled score was a little better, 36-22 Colts. Titans have lost 3 straight, both games that McCoy has been the coach for. 6 of their last 7 losses have come by double digits. That's why this is a 10. Cam Ward was 22 of 38 for 259 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Chimere Dike, back-to-back weeks where he's been WR1. Calvin Ridley inactive again. I don't know if his head or heart are in it, but Chimere Dike is getting the opportunity running with it. 7 catches for 93 yards. Excuse me. Tyjae Spears ran 9 times for 50 yards, 9 yards, touchdown. Caught 3 for 23. But this defense, they just couldn't get stops. Excuse me. Allowed the Colts to go 8.1 yards per play, 3 of 4 in the red zone. Jonathan Taylor ran for 153 yards, 3 touchdowns on just 12 carries. I mean, this team looks like they're giving up on a second coach here. Pass rush had 3 sacks and 5 quarterback hits, but they had 3 defensive starters out. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, linebacker Arden Key, and then they lose Ali Gay, linebacker, to a knee injury in the first quarter. Xavier Woods left with a hamstring in the second half. Last week, LeJerry Sneed goes on the IR with a quad injury. This is the worst team in the NFL, Troy. How do we take advantage of that? Take it away.
It's just not something that I like to take advantage of. I don't like these big spreads, especially when the home team is the dog, because the samples, the market history is so small to work with. I'm honestly pretty sick of capping this Titans team. I even texted you this morning. I mean, it's impossible at this point of the season to put your money on this team. They're unbackable. They're uncompetitive. They can't cover spreads, and you can't bet against them out of principle. Like, you're selling at the depths of a bear market. It reminds me of a crypto called Terra Luna, a crypto project that dropped from $120 to $3 in a matter of 2 days, 3 days. And people were buying low. And you've seen a bunch of content come out. Oh, buy low, buy low. A few weeks later, it flatlined, complete, straight to zero. I think this is the worst team we've seen since the 2008 Detroit Lions. And it makes it really hard because you can't bet on them. You can't bet against them. And the database, the market history is so small in this price range, but I'm actually shocked to see a 9.5 and not a 10. I think this Chargers team is heading in the right direction. I talked about my bullishness for them a few times over the past week. And this is just not a game I'm looking to get involved with. I will have a lot of opinions coming up here soon.
Yeah, I get it. It's just the injury report is key here. And also, Harbaugh doesn't embarrass other coaches. So, I mean, I don't want to leave money on the table. And the Titans are horrific. They're so bad. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to be at this game. It makes me think that that as the Chargers get healthier, I maybe you know what I think could happen here too. I think the injury report is paramount, because if I was Harbaugh and I knew the injuries that we've been dealing with, and now we have this gift matchup, I know he takes everything seriously, but you know, you're not going to have Tarheeb still. I don't know about Tony Jefferson, but Derwin James, I'm sure he wants to be out there, but maybe these guys sit. I think that if Mekhi Becton's in and Derwin James is in, they're going to pick the number, whatever they want to beat this team by. And I bet you it's a plodding, slow, boring football game where the under is cash.
That's how Harbaugh likes to play it when he gets out ahead.
Yeah. And if this is a situation where they're missing these pieces, they're going to let the pieces rest on defense, then I think it's possible that the Chargers will have to score points to be in control of this football game. So this injury report is, I think the total here is something that should be moved on, because the Titans are not going to be able to score if this is a healthy Chargers secondary. If it's not, the Chargers will be forced to score. So I think that the injury report will then dictate a bet on the over or the under. If the Chargers are healthy, they're going to shut down the Titans. It's going to be a business trip. The Titans may score they'll be in the 7 to 10 point range. Chargers will score 25 to 30. We'll cash the under both first half and full game and call it a day. If they're going to rest pieces to make sure they're healthy for the tough second half of the season, then the Chargers will have to score. And the over will be the play. So I'm going to let the injury report dictate. What do you think of that plan, Troy?
I think that I don't know, man. I think that the Tennessee Titans offense at least has been looking like it has some life. They've done some things that looked better than they were. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this game, Jimmy. I don't want to sway anybody in the chat or you yourself. Like, I really no opinion.
Let's roll on. That is Chargers, Titans. Netflix says that team total for Tennessee is 60.5. If the Chargers are healthy, then they don't score 16.5 points. If the Chargers want, they'll have the ball for 41 minutes of this football game. How many points can the Titans score having the ball for 19 minutes? That's how I see the game, personally. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Falcons, Patriots. Falcons 3-4, 1-2 on the road. Patriots 6-2, 2-2 at home. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And everything that you have said about the Patriots and their ability to challenge the Bills in this division is correct. 51 Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 5-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into the line history here for Falcons, Patriots. We have the Patriots -5.5 at -115. The look ahead was -3. Then it became available on Sunday night at 4.5, moved to 5 and 5.5. It seems like it's just one-way traffic here towards the Patriots. From a total side of things, we have a 45. This opened up, or the look ahead was 45. It came out, it dropped with the look ahead down to 44.5, came back at 45. So not much going on there. We get to the cash flow here for the Falcons Patriots spot. 91% of tickets and 93% of the cash on the Patriots. I mean, it's pretty wild. It's a pretty different week than we've dealt with. I don't remember dealing with a week where it's just big favorites, public hammering those favorites off of a week where the favorites all covered. I think it's a pretty tricky situation, and it shouldn't be handled like, oh, this is so easy. This is so easy. Personally, I don't think it should. We have 60% of tickets, 62% cash on the under here over at Action. And we have 86% of tickets and 97% of the cash on the Patriots here at Action. Destro says Cousins or Penix doesn't matter. It matters very much. I think it matters enormously, personally. Penix is, they believe in him. They have a future with him. Cousins is a problem because you'll just fill the box, shut down Bijan Robinson. But maybe it's Drake London. Maybe Drake London's more important than both of them because they weren't able to make any plays happen without Drake London on the field. So 51 Fahrenheit, sunny, 5 miles per hour. Falcons passing offense 27th, rushing offense 12th, red zone offense 29th, third down offense 15th. So it's not a very good offense. But if we talked about this 2 weeks ago, people were saying that Bijan Robinson's MVP of the league. Their passing defense 18th, rushing defense 27th. This defense is terrible. What's Raheem Moore? I thought this team is not what we expected to be. Now, I am on the under win total, Troy. Remember from the beginning of the year when we battled with this one. Red zone defense 28th, third down defense 21st, pass rush 13th. And this is 3 and 4. Like they could still go over this total or go under. And Vincent Hawkins says Falcons money line, they win outright. Look at that call, regardless of who the quarterback is. Sell high on the Pats. Wow. That is absolutely wild. Falcons come in off a disastrous 34-10 loss at home to the lowly Dolphins with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Noise canceled score was 29-15 Dolphins. Falcons were without Penix, Drake London, their sack leader, Zach Harrison, their rookie edge rusher, Jalen Walker, their cornerback. These are 2 rookies that are beasts, Billy Bowman Jr. They also placed Divine Diablo with the forearm injury on injured reserve, and it showed. It showed enormously. We just know what these teams are like without their best players on the field. We saw it with the Chargers. We saw it with the Falcons. When they get some of these key pieces back, you can take advantage of the situation. Now, I was just, high on fading the Chargers, but with Alt coming back and with game 2 of Perryman and game 2 with Mack, I should not have kept hammering here. And I understand why our guy Vincent wants to back the Falcons. What I don't understand, though, at this point is selling the Patriots high at this point. But I'm not saying that it's wrong. I haven't got to that point. I haven't figured it out. Cousins was 21-31 for 173 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Pitts caught 9 for 59. Bijan Robinson completely shut down. 9 carries for 25 yards, caught 3 for 23, lost a fumble. The Dolphins outrushed the Falcons 141-45. Who would have guessed that? Falcons finished with 11 first downs, 213 total yards, 2 of 11 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. Their defense looked awful. Tunga Vailoa threw for 4 touchdowns. Dolphins went 6 of 13 on third down, 3 of 5 in the red zone. The pass rush was nowhere to be found. 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. Jesse Bates hurts his ankle in the third quarter, their safety. And then we talked about all the players that were missing. It's a big, big problem. Why don't you touch on the Falcons here and roll into the Patriots, and I'll jump in with Patriots info here, but I don't want to be talking for too long. Take it away here. Falcons, Patriots.
Well, looking at the Falcon side of the ball, right? That's what we're focusing on right now.
Yeah.
If I just look at the Falcons and I see Captain Kirk in the lineup, I feel like this number should be 6.5, maybe even 7 points after what we've seen this past week. The Dolphins were absolutely begging for Captain Kirk to beat them over the top, and he couldn't deliver. His throws of over 10 yards were mistimed. They're poorly located. He did not look comfortable. He missed easy throws that would be made by most quarterbacks in this league. I venture to say all the quarterbacks in this league. Now, maybe he looks better in his second start if that's what it's going to be, but I definitely won't have my money on him again. I actually thought I was betting into Penix last week with those teasers. That didn't turn out to be the case. The game was over fairly early in this first half. The Falcons offense, the lowest success rate in week 8 behind the Vikings. I mean, this is just not a team because Penix has the ability to drive the ball down the field. He has the ability to drive it outside of the numbers to both sides of the field. We've seen him make incredible throws. Obviously, Drake London's a massive variable in this entire thing. But, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be on the Falcons with Captain Kirk under center until I see him, devolve back to what he was a few years ago, or at least some type of semblance to what he was last year. And it's not going to be good for the Captain Kirk against this Patriots run defense, because the Patriots run defense is legit. So if they can't run the ball and Captain Kirk is under center, this number's too short. If Penix is in the game, this number's too big. I
agree. I think you're absolutely right. Now, it's so important here to study the injury report before moves are made here. So on the Falcons wire, Morris stated that all of these guys don't have serious injuries. All of them. Even Bates, who just came out, they're all in the same spot. But in saying that, he says they're all day-to-day, but the only people he said that he said would be back, he says Jalen Walker, and Billy Bowman. So we need to focus on this injury report heavily, because I think you're absolutely right. So let's talk about the Patriots. They're a fun team to talk about. Passing offense ranked 4th, rushing offense ranked 32nd. And it's not because they don't get yards. It's because they fumble nonstop. I mean, it's Travion Henderson. I don't know how they keep him as RB1. Sometimes it's not about talent. What's going to happen if this happens in the playoffs? I mean, they're going to lose. Red zone offense 19th, third down offense 13th. Their defense looks strong, except in the red zone. They have the second worst red zone defense in the NFL. We thought that would change as the season went on. It hasn't. But pass defense 9th, rush defense 10th, pass rush 17th, third down defense 10th, allowing conversions 36.5% of the time. Patriots coming up their 5th straight win, 32-13 at home over the Browns. Noise canceled score was similar, 31-11. Patriots outgained the Browns 422 to 213. Drake May 18-24, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. He looked really good. Mac Hollins caught 7 for 89. Butte caught 3 for 75. Travion Henderson ran 10 times for 75 yards and lost another fumble. The 32nd ranked rush attack ran 35 times for 177 yards against the Browns' number 1 ranked rush defense. So it's a very tricky thing when you call them the 32nd ranked. It's all because of the fumbles. Because they have some skill there. And
wait. Yeah, I do want to say there was definitely some non-traditional rushing, a non-traditional running scheme in the second half. I'll touch on it when I get to it, because it definitely was not your traditional run, split zone, run, outside zone, inside zone, run ISO. It was not any of that was having success.
I have those stats wrong, D-Trip? I have it all Travion Henderson.
Stevenson started off the season with like 4 fumbles in the first 3 games.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And then they switched. So yeah, okay, I feel you. Because then they tried to do the switch, but it's not changing anything because Henderson's fumbling now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
D-Trip. Patriots are just 3 of 11 on third down, 2 of 6 in the red zone. The defense held the Browns to 3 of 14 on third down. 17th ranked pass rush was quiet. Spillane and Jalen Hawkins each had picks. Defensive lineman Keir Tonga left in the second half with a knee injury. He was ruled out. He's listed as questionable, but Tonga said straight up, he's like, it's not serious. I'll be back. Kyle Duggar was inactive and listed as questionable this week, but he was the only one, that's not on IR. I see this Patriots team as a bet on football team. That's not easy what they did against the Browns. The Patriots are not average football team. They're a really good football team. I'm not saying they're elite or anything of that, but I think you've nailed it. Now, look, I love Vincent Hawkins' confidence on Kirk Cousins. For me, the statistics just don't follow through with that. I think if Cousins is in, he's going to get annihilated on the road against the Patriots. And if Penix is in, the Falcons can hang in this. But Drake London has to be in too. If it's Cousins and no Drake London, I think we hammer the Patriots. We take them double result and on the side. Take it away. Talk to us about the Patriots, my man.
I agree, and I agree with Dougie too. I feel like the Patriots are the most overrated team in the NFL right now, and that's kind of why I faded them last week so heavily with the Browns, because you look at their resume, look what they've done this season, and it was against who? The past 3 teams they've seen were the worst offenses in the NFL. They caught the Bills with their pants down in a terrible spot. They couldn't stop the run. The Bills attacked them because of their defense. But, I believe, looking back at that game, I took a massive L with this Browns team. It was really my only blemish this past week. And my whole cap was Drake May versus man coverage, which he's not going to see this week. But Drake May against the Browns versus man coverage, it was kind of what I expected to see. 7 for 12 passing, 103 yards, 45 of them came off of one play. 2 touchdowns, a pick, a 90 passer rating, 4 sacks, but 3 scrambles for 50 yards. And that's what shows you how impressive Drake May is that a lot of the struggles he had was in the first half, and he was still able to get out of the pocket, create a massive play in the passing game on a third down, 40 yards, and then 3 scrambles for 50 yards. I mean, that's impressive shit. Especially versus this high pressure Browns defense. But I feel like Drake May is going to struggle when he runs into these man coverage teams. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing that I realized with this Patriots team this past week, I made some tweets about it, was Josh McDaniels. This man is putting his team in the right positions to win. Coming out of half, at half it was 9-7. The Browns should have been up 10 to. It was 9-7. The Browns should have been up 10-6 at half. They started using non-traditional running, rushes outside of the tackles to the wide side. I want to say they're 9 and 10 rushes, meaning they're not coming off of the tackle. They're going outside of the slot receivers, jet sweeps, pitches, misdirection, all types of motion, getting handoff. And I think that when you're going up against a man defense, what that does is when you're attacking the outside of the field like that, you got man coverage, which means when you're playing man coverage, you have no responsibility for the run. Your only responsibility is locking up that receiver. So if they're not looking to defend the run, they're just getting ran off of ran 10 yards back before the wide receiver stalk blocks. I mean, it was easy blocking out there. Just a great scheme Josh McDaniels came out with. And, the first series, outside of that, there's one series outside of half, like outside when they got back, or, first drive coming out of the half, 7 plays for 77 yards and a touchdown. And then there was a pick 6 from Dylan Gabriel. Gabriel basically gifted the Patriots 9 points. And then the next series, the Browns flipped to zone coverage after 2 successful possessions running outside of the tackles. They go to zone coverage, and then Drake May just burns them. So, I do think that this team is absolutely legit. Drake May, Josh McDaniels, and Vrabel, I feel like what they have going on is something special, but they still have not been tested. And I think that the defense still does have some vulnerabilities down the field. Dylan Gabriel wasn't able to take advantage. I believe Penix will, if he has his receiver. I think that this Patriots team might be a dead nut over team. They struggle to run the ball. They shut down the run. Drake May's mobility leads to a ton of opportunities, and he's the best deep passing ball quarterback in the league. It makes me want to play the over in this type of situation. But I would need Penix still. And the database says over is absolutely the play between 44.5 and 46.5, right, between the two keys. And it also says right now, if we're going to get a close between 3.5 and 5.5 with 70% or more of the money on the Patriots, the road team's covering 78% of the time historically in a 13-game sample. So I'm looking towards the Falcons. I'm looking towards the over. I just can't bet the Patriots, despite how many times I bet them 4 times already this season. I'm just looking to fade at this point.
Very interesting. So you would, but if it's Captain Kirk under center and no Drake London, you want nothing to do with the Falcons.
I want exactly right. Then I might be looking towards that double result, like you mentioned. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the line if that gets announced.
I think we'll have a real sense of it on Wednesday. But again, having a sense of it, we were fortunate we didn't get burnt on a couple spots. And I know that you still, got burnt here by the Falcons, but we almost got burnt with the Lamar Jackson news. So we obviously the legalization of gambling through most of North America right now is not making anything more transparent in the injury report market, which is a real problem because it's multiple bets. You're betting against the team. You're also betting against your feelings of the injury report. I like the look, though. I like the look. If Penix and London are in, bet the over. Bet the over as soon as you can, really. And if it's think about possibly, you have to really think about this, but then betting the Falcons. If it's Kirk Cousins again and there's no Drake London, I mean, again, it's not just Drake London. We just talked about it. If Zach Harrison, I don't think Zach's coming back, honestly. This week. But if Jalen Walker and Billy Bowman are back, that's going to help immensely. So it's the injury report is the key to this one, and we'll have a better idea on Wednesday.
Keep me in the loop, Jimmy. If you see something, I'll do the same. Keep me in the loop. And Discord, that Pub Sports Radio Discord, stay live in there if you see something on this.
Absolutely. AM is on the under 45. I can see a lot of situations where makes perfect sense. But again, that injury report is so important to it all. Let's roll on. 1 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco 49ers. Fading my team last week was goddamn beautiful. God, it was so fucking easy. 5-3, 3-2 on the road to the New York Giants, 2-6, 2-1 at home, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 54 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. It's just the weight of the injuries is what's right? It's crushing this football team.
The legs get a little heavier every single week carrying
every week. Every week. We have Drewski, Harold Williams, Rants all saying Niners. Well, the injury report is key. But the 49ers are a different team on the road than they are at home. And everybody's going to be talking about what this Giants team is without Scadaboo. And I want the Giants here. But I want to talk it out. Haven't bet it. Let's talk about the line. Let's talk about the situation. Cash or total wise, we have a 49 juice to the under. This one opened up at 45.5 and climbed up to 49. On the point spread here, from a point spread standpoint, we have the Niners minus 2.5 and minus 120. This opened up, or the look ahead was 3, but then it opened up at 3 on Sunday night, and it's moved a half point towards the New York Giants. That's something that I agree with, but again, the injury report is so key for this football game. When we get to the cash flow here, we have 67% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Giants. It's moved a half point away from them. It's very interesting. We have 83% of tickets on the over and 92% of cash on that over. Look, I like what this offense was with Scadaboo and with Dart, and I'm not sure. There's a lot of pressure on Tyrone Tracy right now to step up, and I don't know if he's capable of doing it. Let's talk about the Niners' first passing offense, ranked 11th, rushing offense 28th. McCaffrey is not running for anything now. He's catching the ball out of the backfield and still doing the job. Red zone offense 21st, third down offense 3rd, pass defense 28th, rush defense 14th, red zone defense 8th, allowing touchdowns 52% of the time, third down defense 19th, allowing conversions 39% of the time, and this is the 22nd ranked pass rush here for the Niners, and that's getting worse every week. Niners coming off a 26-15 loss at Houston. Noise canceled score was almost the same, 27-15. Niners were badly outgained, 475 to 223. Mac Jones did not look good. He's beat up. 19 to 32 for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. He's being very good. The fact that the Niners are 5-3 and 3-2 is a testament of this coaching staff and this group, this character group fighting despite these massive injuries. And it's going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart. And then they'll come back home and they'll be more than the sum of their parts and we'll buy them low. But I see this just as a deck of cards or a house of cards falling apart. Juwan Jennings led receivers with 4 catches for 45 yards. McCaffrey, 8 carries for 25, but caught 3 for 43. The defense couldn't get the Texans off the field. Texans finished 10 of 17 on 3rd and 4th down and held on the ball for 41 minutes and 22 seconds. The pass rush getting weaker each week. They finished with 0 sacks and 2 hits, 2 quarterback hits. Diamandor Lenoir had a pick. Do you know that they had gone 14 straight games without an interception? Wow. That's 469 consecutive passes that they didn't intercept. That's because of 2 things. One, they're getting no pass rush at all, and their secondary has become weaker and weaker and weaker with injuries, and just their roster this year wasn't nearly as strong as we'd seen last little while. So they did hold the Texans to 1 of 5 in the red zone. So they're still, stepping up. They're still a character team stepping up in the toughest spots. And now linebacker D. Winters hurt his knee in the 3rd quarter. He's day-to-day. So I was asked by a friend, why are you fading the Niners here? It doesn't make sense. Why are you fading them? And he said the only difference is Bryce Huff is now gone. How many guys have to be gone? Like, they're just getting weaker and weaker and weaker each week. Yetur Gross-Matos was not supposed to be a starter on the defensive line. He was supposed to be someone who just came in for 20%, 30% of snaps. He's become extremely important. So we have Huff and Matos out. You have Jake Brendel, their center, out. Listed as questionable. Whether Pearsall comes in or not, I don't know. The Giants passing offense ranked 23rd, rushing offense 4th, red zone offense 25th, third down offense 12th, pass defense 11th, but rush defense 30th. Well, that's perfect because the 49ers are not able to run the ball right now, despite, still some nice pieces on that offensive line. Red zone defense 27th, third down defense 13th. This is an 8th ranked pass rush. Giants coming off that tough 38-20 loss to the Eagles. Saw them lose Cam Scadaboo for the season with an ugly ankle injury. Noise canceled score was 35-19. Giants were outgained 427 to 246. Outgained on the ground 276 to 68. Jackson Dart was 14-24 for 193 and a touchdown. Wandale led receivers with 3 catches, 48 yards. Tyrone Tracy will have to step up moving forward. Have to. 10 carries for 39 yards, caught 2 passes, 14. It wasn't enough. The defense allowed the Eagles to put up 7.5 yards per play, go 3 of 3 in the red zone. Pass rush finished with 4 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. And then there was injuries. Cornerback Art Green has a hamstring injury. Cornerback Cordell Flott is in concussion protocol. They already are missing safety Javon Holland, safety Anthony Johnson, and defensive end Chauncey Golston. They were inactive. All this is questionable. So if, and this is a big if Brock Purdy is back, it's going to give the 49ers a big boost. He'll be able to make plays because of the injuries to the Giants secondary. If it's Mac Jones limping into East Rutherford, the Giants are a must bet. It's a buy low spot on the Giants after getting beaten by arguably the best team in the league, or one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league that had revenge on their mind from being embarrassed in New York 2 weeks earlier.
And they got a lot of favorable whistles too. The Eagles did.
And Nuffleshan says, are you telling us that the Niners can't run the ball right now? Can you please pass that info on to Kyle? So look, take it away. I want the Giants, but I will not question the character of this 49ers football team. I will not question the game plans that Shanahan puts together. And I'm impressed. I cannot believe this skeletal football team is 5-3. But if it's Mac Jones limping into East Rutherford, this is a must bet on the Giants. A must bet as soon as possible. Double result, more than a unit. Take it away, Troy.
I'm sick of this damn injury report. Musical chairs at the most important position in all sports. It's so annoying trying to figure this out. It made me want to not even cap this game at all. Here's basically where I get to when I'm looking at this game. I got to trust Shanahan to have a great offensive performance here against this Giants defense. This Giants defense is 31st in yards per carry allowed, 29th in run D per PFF. The defensive talent is centralized. Like I talk about this Giants team every week on the front 7. Really, it's just the front 4, and it's not guys that want to defend against the run. It's guys that want to rush the passer. So I feel like they have way too many holes defensively for Shanahan not to be able to come out here and move the ball successfully. I feel like they're going to have a high success rate. And look at the defenses. The defenses this 49ers team has seen the past 4 weeks. The Texans, the Falcons, the Bucs, and the Rams. 3 of those defenses are damn good defenses. Now they're going to finally get a soft toss, and I think it's going to be Purdy. I think this line is telling me it's going to be Purdy. I think the total's telling me it's going to be Purdy. And if you flip the script and you look at the Giants offense versus this 49ers defense, it's like, well, I just keep pointing back to I trust Saleh to be able to at least, create a tougher path of resistance than the Giants offense or than the Giants defense would see, right? So I feel like the 49ers are going to face the least path of resistance. I can't never say that right, but I feel like it's going to be easier for the 49ers to move the ball. It's going to be easier for the 49ers to generate stops. And it's really hard to say that, especially looking at this market, because then you start looking at the market profile. So my handicap is all over the 49ers. And then the market itself is all over this Giants team. And I mean, I won't even get into it, but in this price range with this high total, the best bet on this would be a Giants teaser up to 8.5, hitting at over 90%, 20+ game samples. I have a sample right in front of me right now that's 20-0, 20-0 on a teaser leg. The high total, surprisingly, you think teasers are more successful with the lower totals? Incorrect. The higher the totals, meaning the defense is vulnerable. So the offense is always the back door on the plus 8.5 on the big teased up home dog. So I am looking at just seeing that makes me want to take a Giants on a teaser. I just don't know, because what's the injury report going to tell us? Like we need to figure out more. Is Purdy going to be starting? Is
Jake Brendel going to be at center? Because if it's Matt Hennessy, The Giants will win.
Yeah, because Carter's just going to have it's going to be Hennessy, I think.
The injury report is so crucial here. So yeah, you need Purdy in. If Jordan Elliott and Bryce Huff are not on a pass rush that's already missing Yetur Gross-Matos and of course Nick Bosa, they're not. I mean, all you have to do is double Michael Williams. Game, set, match. This secondary has Diamador Lenoir playing his heart out, and he's not getting help. So this injury report, Dougie Wise just bet the Niners -2.5, -120, and if Purdy's announced in, if Purdy's announced in and Pearsall's announced in, Brendel's announced in, Huff's announced in, you're the man. You're the man, Dougie Wise. You crushed it. If not, it's big trouble because
this line might flip, man.
And the Niners don't need this football game. The Niners need to hold the fort at home, and they will make the playoffs. And looking at this schedule, they have the Rams at home next week. We all know what they just did to the Rams back on October 2nd. Then they have Arizona they can beat. Then Carolina comes to town. They can win that game. They go to Cleveland. They can win that game. Then they have Tennessee at home. They can go 4-0 very easily after the Rams. The Niners can make the playoffs. They just have to get healthy. They have to get healthy. Dougie White says, rookie quarterback for Salah. Good luck. God, I wish that we had the defensive roster that we thought we'd have. Because, we take Bosa off of it, take Warner off of it. And then you take Huff. And look, I cannot believe they're 5-3. I respect it so much. Pavel Brendel. I was a huge Pavel Brendel fan. I picked him in the hockey pool one year and he screwed me. I think he scored 4 points in the whole year. But yeah, I cannot wait for these goddamn injury reports tomorrow, and that we're gonna have to put so much time and emphasis into them because there's a route where the 49ers can be backed, and there's a route where the Giants can be backed, and I'm gonna need to know that information here with the injury report. Is there anything you want to add to this, my man?
No, we can pass this one up.
Let's roll on. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, we have a game that is a planned action for our guy Troy Torrence. Colts Steelers, Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have pushed my season win total with the Colts over 7 wins. Took 8 games. God, I just wish I had them for a division, but I did not. 48 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10-mile-per-hour winds expected on Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have the Colts -3 at -120. The look ahead was 2.5, and it closed at 2.5, juiced to -120. So it moved about 5 cents overall. Then it came out again Monday morning at -3 at -112. Since then, it's moved 8 cents towards the Colts, -3 at -120. Get into the total here for this spot. Total wise, we have a 50.5. God, do you remember a time when if the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing, the total would open up around 42.5 and it would drop to 38 by kickoff?
Yeah.
This opened up
hovering around 37 pretty much.
Oh, yeah. And and they were glorious. Times have changed. The look ahead was 49. It comes again on Monday morning at 49.5 and climbs up to 50.5, a 1-point move towards the over. When we get to the cash flow here for Colts Steelers, we have 87% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Colts. That's an alarming amount of money on them. Let's touch on the cash flow here from a different book. They're telling us that 76% of the tickets and 89% cash on the Colts. So it's very similar there. And then on the total, you have 61% of tickets on the under and 42% of cash on the under. I can't let my vividness bias get in the way. And I just need to say that out loud. Talk about the Colts passing offense ranked 10th, rushing offense ranked 3rd. Jonathan Taylor, in the MVP race. Red zone offense 8th, third down offense 4th. Pass defense ranked 22nd, rush defense ranked 22nd. It's too bad that when Charvarius Ward got hurt was right when Kenny Moore was coming back, and we haven't had them on the field at the same time. It's hurt their defense immensely. This is not that statistically strong of a defense. Third down defense is the 3rd worst in the NFL. They allow conversions 47.1% of the time. Their red zone defense 18th, 61.5% of the time they're allowing touchdowns. Their pass rush is ranked 13th, and they're the league-leading Indianapolis Colts. Coming off their 4th straight win, 5-0 at home after dismantling the Titans 38-14. Noise-canceled score was 36-22. Colts got whatever they wanted. 8.1 yards per play, 3 of 4 in the red zone. Dimes was 21 of 29 for 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, and again, 0 interceptions. Pittman caught 8 for 95 in a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor needed 12 carries to run for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also got 2 for 21 in a touchdown. The defense held the Titans to 7-18 on 3rd and 4th down. It wasn't a defensive masterpiece, but the Titans were incapable of going score for score with the Colts. Titans did get 5.1 yards per play, did go 2 of 3 in the red zone. Pass rush had 4 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. Chris Lamons had an interception. Samson Ebukam hurt his knee, defensive end, and so did Tyquan Lewis. So they were in the act of, they suffered the injuries last week, and it didn't matter that they weren't around. Charvarius Ward's been put on IR with a concussion, so he's not going to be back for 2 weeks. So Jared TG says Colts D was never going to be very good, just don't have the talent. AOD says Taylor MVP. Digging says Steelers are 11-0 against the spread after allowing 35-plus points. Slow Jams Arsenal in the house. We missed you, my man. Says Tomlin will coach them up as well. Steelers home dog, cash money. Rodgers bounce back. Look, I mean, I heard everybody say that last week. So I think we can just say this is a different Steelers team than we're used to. Maybe we should put a line through some of these old. Now, I know you're focusing on the head coach there. I get it. Let's talk about the Steelers. Passing offense ranked 14th, rushing 20th. Red zone 3rd. Rodgers is getting touchdowns for the Steelers team 73.7% of the time that they're in the red zone. Third down offense 16th. They are converting 39% of the time. Pass defense 26th. Rush defense 20th. Red zone defense 4th. Allowing touchdowns 50% of the time. That's pretty good. Third down defense 24th. But their pass rush is 4th. And I don't see it. Steelers coming off a 35-25 loss at home to the Packers on Sunday night. Noise canceled score was 32-24. Outgained 454 to 295. Rodgers was 24-36 for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Roman Wilson caught 4 for 74 and a touchdown. DK Metcalf caught 5 passes for 55 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Warren ran 13 times for 62 yards, caught 2 for 11. The offense was just 1 of 10 on third down, was only given 1 red zone opportunity. 1 of 10 on third down. The defense couldn't get stops with the game on the line. Love completed 20 straight passes in their face. Packers scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to win the game comfortably. They allowed the Packers to put up 7.2 yards per play, 3 of 5 in the red zone. This 4th-ranked pass rush didn't record a sack, did get 5 quarterback hits. Daniel Aquali left with a knee injury. Defensive lineman second quarter. It's a torn ACL. He's done for the year. Safety Deshaun Elliott left in the third quarter with a serious right knee injury. He's done for the year. They already lost safety Miles Killebrew to a season-ending injury last week. Miles Killebrew would be the one that would replace Deshaun Elliott, but they're both gone. Left guard Isaac Sumala went down with a chest injury and didn't return. He's listed as questionable. Take it away for us here, Troy. Colts, Steelers.
Yeah, I've kind of been waiting for this spot for a few weeks. Everything that I thought would happen came to fruition, and I'm looking exactly at the number that I thought I'd be looking at in this spot. Because I'm sure every model in the world, I really don't understand how any model wouldn't have this game at least at 3.5. The fact that this even opened at the 3 makes me bullish. Makes me bullish on the Steelers, and I talk shit about this price range all the time. When you have a home dog between 3 and 3.5, I say it's only a fade. You never back them. But I really want to – there's a lot of nuances with this market as it currently sits with 76% of bets, 89% of the cash coming in on the Colts. We know that the public just lost 2 weeks in a row on this very Steelers team. And I'm just waiting as patiently as I possibly can. And I finally found a 3.5 that I've been looking for. And I don't even think that. I think we might even see a 4 in this market, but I'm okay with taking a 3.5. I waited very, very patiently. Like, I feel like anybody, sharps are going to come in and hammer the Colts once they see a huge discrepancy with their model. Public, like I just said, are coming in on the Colts after losing 2 weeks in a row with the Steelers. And I'm going to be pitching my tent on Steelers Island where it's just me and Tomlin. Everyone here knows I've been a massive believer in this Colts team. The offensive consistency, sustainability, the weapons, the great coach, the glue, all that. They have everything. The personnel that fits the scheme perfectly. And I've been the exact opposite. The exact opposite on the Steelers team, talking shit about their strength of schedule. But the very same argument with strength of schedule can be said with the Colts. I mean, they have, let's view their schedule real quick, right? They have 4 wins against broken teams. The Dolphins in week 1, the Raiders at home, and the Titans 2 times. They have 2 wins versus below average teams. You have the Cardinals with the backup quarterback and Brissett, and you have the Chargers on their last leg of their slide without both tackles, Khalil Mack, Perriman in their first game back, and Henley sick as a dog. They have 2 games versus competent teams. The Broncos, they're lucky to have won that game. They had they got the do-over, the gimme, or the what do they call it? The birdie, or what do they call in golf? Where you get the do-over.
What the hell?
I don't know golf.
I don't golf.
Yeah, I don't
Mulligan.
Mulligan, yeah. They got the mulligan, kicked the game-winning field goal, and then the Rams where they lost by 7. The only 3 road games this season, the Titans, where they won pretty convincingly, the Rams where they lost, and the Chargers who were broken, and that noise-canceled score just sticks out to me. It was 32-29. I believe that this Colts team is at the very top of the market, just like the Steelers were 2 weeks ago. And I faded the Steelers 2 weeks in a row. Now it's time to zag. The offense for this Colts team is elite, but the defense is below average. The Colts defense, 19th per PFF, versus the weakest, a very weak strength of schedule. Pretty balanced to average metrics, across the board at all 3 levels. They primarily play zone coverage. Tampa 2 is their base coverage. I like that. I like how that looks, and I'm going to get into that in a second for our boy Aaron Rodgers. I consider the Steelers' offense, right, to go against this Colts defense. I think they're going to have success. I mean, the Steelers' offense generally, in my opinion, is average, middling, competent at the very least. And what I was in the chat this just yesterday night talking about how this offensive line looked way better than the past few years. I think they've taken a massive step forward. I don't know if it's Aaron Rodgers or Arthur Smith or who's really made the change on this offensive line, but they're way better than they were last year. They have below average weapons, right? They have DK Metcalf and Jalen Warren. That's really the only 2 productive weapons. But they have a high IQ, veteran quarterback who knows how to distribute the ball and has a quick release. And he's definitely going to – I've watched this man thrive against the Tampa 2 coverage. And I might be biased or outdated, but I watched him destroy Lovie Smith's Tampa 2 many times. He's great at identifying coverage pre-snap. He knows where to look to the soft spot of the zones post-snap, and he's great at throwing the vertical routes down the seams. That's one thing that we could guarantee. We're going to see those big tight ends catch these verticals up the seams. I feel like I can make a really good case for the Steelers offense. Now, how about the Steelers defense? It is really hard to make a case for this defense in this matchup, but there's only one element of this matchup that I can lean on. Because there's really only one data point where the Colts, and on the entire Colts resume, that most closely resembles what they're going to see on Sunday. And that's when the Colts played the Rams. Because they lost 27-20, but it's because of the only redeeming quality for the Steelers team is their pass rush. These are the most chipped, most doubled defensive front in the NFL. And in that game, Daniel Jones went. I mean, I'm not going to say they're as good as the Rams' defensive front, but I'm saying that that's the closest in resemblance to what they're going to see this week. Daniel Jones was under pressure 45% of his dropbacks, the most all season. And it was by far the worst game of his season with only 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 8 turnover-worthy play percentage, a 60 PFF grade, and an 81 passer rating. I mean, it's going to be hard, don't get me wrong, to stop the RPO, the read option, the traditional dominant rushing attack, and the play action that the Colts do so effectively. But I do think they face stiffer resistance than what they've seen so far this season outside of the maybe 2 games. So I think that this is just another spot that is just, in my opinion, I knew we had another week where the Steelers were going to be heading towards the bottom. of their market. I think they're a buy low situation. The Colts are clearly in a sell high situation, traveling to a hostile environment where they've showed weakness in corollary matchups. So I even think there's a corollary with the Rams with Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. And the Steelers, 4-3 right now. I mean, we faded the shit out of this team, but you got the rah-rah Tomlin effect, an overpriced team coming into town. And I don't think the Packers were overpriced this past week. You know, I would have much more conviction if I had bigger samples to work with, because we just don't see this very often where the road favorite at this number is massive, just a massive public opinion. And I moved on the Steelers team. I talked about the teaser in the first matchup, a very untraditional teaser, but it's been effective since 2022, teasing the Niners, or it's teasing the Pittsburgh Steelers up to 9 and pairing it with the Ravens down to 1. But I also just moved on the 3.5 at Bet365, at ESPN Bet, plus 3.5 minus 120.
So the Steelers, Deshaun Elliott's out. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be out in my notes, but I was diving back into it, and Deshaun Elliott is out. Oh, sorry, he's done for the year. I said that out loud. Why I wasn't sure. Okay, so God, I said that in my notes. Now I'm tripping now. So Deshaun Elliott's out. His replacement Miles Killebrew's out. The third string free safety Kyle Duggar is questionable. If he doesn't play, they have Juan Thornhill. They can move Jabril Peppers out. There's a reason why Jabril Peppers isn't on the field right now. How is this game not go over? If the Steelers can't get stops, they're going to have to score against the Colts defense that is struggling to get their stops. I mean, look at they haven't been playing a very tough group of teams. This total's climbing. We have cappers in the chat who like it. What up, BJ?
Here's my opinion on the total, because I was actually thinking the exact opposite. If you think the Colts are the right side in this spot, and you could totally make a case that they are the right spot side, then maybe that is the case, is to be backing the over. But I believe the under is the play. I think the Steelers are going to keep this game close. I think they know that if they make this a shootout where there's a lot of possessions and a lot of points, that it's going to result in what they just seen in the Bengals game, where they just come up a little short. They don't want to turn this into a pissing match. They want to fucking turn this into a rock fight. And I think they got the offensive coordinator and Arthur Smith and a quarterback with a low A dot, wants to dink and dunk down the field, and they got a perfect defense to do that against. I think that the Steelers are going to try to sit and milk the possessions that they do get.
That's what they should do. They just don't have the running back group, the offensive line. They can't. I just don't, because remember one of the main things with the Jets Bengals was these pass defenses were terrible, and the same thing here. The Steelers pass defense getting worse every single week. It's more banged up now than it was. It's ranked 26th right now. In 3 weeks, it'll be ranked 29th or 30th. I mean, so yes, they're going to try to keep the Colts off the field, but
I think I bet you I would make a bet right now that the defense would only progress from here. Actually, I'm going to take that back, because I think they have a tough matchup coming up here. But I think this is a good defense to or actually no, it's not. I might have to take that back, Jim. Might have to take that back.
No, I get it. Steelers plus 3.5 minus 120. BJ agrees with you. Look, I don't want to be on any of these sides with 90% plus of the action after favorites covered so easily last week. I can understand why people are, and I wouldn't say that they're wrong. But I just think points are going to be scored in this football game. That's all. I think points are going to be scored, and the Steelers are going to have. I mean, I'll have to go over pace of play more with the Steelers and see if they can. Because when I think of like a running back group that can play smash mouth football, it does not have Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, And Gainwell had a bad fumble last week. I mean, it's going to be Jaylen Warren. He's not a guy who runs into the teeth of the defense.
Pittsburgh is 20th in pace of play. Indianapolis is 16th. They're both kind of middle of the pack.
I've watched Rodgers be at 27th and 28th pace of play and being a gift to all underbettors. It just doesn't feel like that. I mean, how are they going to handle more injuries to this defense? I don't know. I don't know how. It's the secondary that's the problem. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is old. Look how old these guys are.
Yeah,
Darius Slade, Joey Porter Jr., Jalen Ramsey.
Highsmith.
Highsmith. Yeah, I mean, that's why this team was so good off the bye. Well, okay, I'm going to have to think about it longer. And so I'm guessing that the market efficiency database says that with totals at this number in a home dog that it goes under most of the time?
Yes. Yeah, same, very similar reason, but it's not the exact same because a lot of times you see this market moving towards the home team and moving towards the under like we did with the Saints Bucks. But it's the exact opposite here. It's moving towards the road team. You don't see that very often. It just it's creating a very small sample with such a high total and such drastic splits on the cash flow. It's really hard to trust it. That's the only reason I'm staying off it. But I do like the only case I can make for the under is a game plan. I'm not in the fucking coaching room, but my game plan if I was the Steelers would be to keep that fucking Colts offense off the field.
So then let's just quickly, I know we've spent a lot of time on this game. We'll move past it here, but let's just go over the Colts outdoor offense so far this season. Because it's going to be 48 Fahrenheit, 10 mile per hour wind.
And their only road game, Jim, their only road game where they were outside was Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a bad example because who cares if they put up 41 points? Tennessee's trash. So they've been indoors a lot. Good God.
Only one game outdoors.
Huh. Fuck. But I mean, that's, yeah. Okay. Lots to think about there. All right. So Troy's on the Steelers plus 3.5 at minus 120. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Denver Broncos 6-2, 2-2 on the road. The Houston Texans 3-4, 2-1 at home at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. That was very easy last week with the Texans, and I really soaked in the glory. And whenever I do that, of course, your subconscious wants to bet him again the next week. And I know my subconscious is an asshole. I don't listen to it. This total is a 40. Opened up at the look ahead was 38.5, and then comes out at 39 on Sunday night. Goes up to 40, back to 39.5, and sitting at 40 right now. Slight move towards the over. From a point spread perspective here, we have Houston minus 1. The look ahead opened up at a pick'em, as one would guess, because after what everybody saw, the Texans off the bye in Seattle, it's very possible that Seattle is an elite football team. But this was moving towards Denver, despite their struggles and coming back against the Giants, but they did make it pretty electric. And then it opens up again at that number, minus 1 on Sunday night, moves to a pick'em. Then there's a big move towards Houston, a really legit move last night towards Houston. 3-point move from +1 to -2. Now it's come back to Denver, but I recognize that move, and obviously I just cash so easy on them, and so I gravitate towards it. I keep saying it out loud just because that's the only thing keeping me off them. 80% of tickets, 75% of cash on Denver. 63% of tickets and 95% of cash on the over is nuts to me. But Denver is an over football team, and the Texans are not.
Would you have cash flow on Denver?
Here I have, and let me know if it's different than actually 80% of the tickets on Denver, 75% of cash.
Very, very close. And then on the money line, 77% of tickets, 65% cash on Denver on the money line.
Yeah, I'm with you, BJ. I mean, this is screaming Texans to me. But there's two things here. And you know that, a lot of you guys know my mom, stepdad, they were shrinks all growing up. And so the psychological angles are the ones that occur to me. And so when I have colleagues who lose a bet that they believe in, and they lose a bet pretty bad, and then they fade that team the next week, well, I think they're making a mistake. I think they're making it because they're believing what they saw when each week is different from the last. And I don't put much into it. I think that their subconscious is messing with them, and that. So
are you referring to or alluding to either side in this game or both sides in this game?
I'm just generally speaking.
Yeah,
I'm just generally speaking. When you lose a bet badly, your subconscious is telling you to fade that team that you just lost with, and it's a mistake. But here we go. BJ says this is a wheel spot here for us. Let's talk about Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We'll talk about the Broncos. Passing offense 15th, rushing offense 8th, red zone offense 6th, 70.4%. Touchdown rate, third down offense 20th. They're converting 37.9% of the time. Pass defense 19th. Rush defense 6th. Red zone defense 1st. Third down defense 1st. Pass rush 9th. This is a very good defense. Broncos coming off a dominant 44-22 victory at home over the Cowboys for their 9th straight home victory dating back to last season. Noise canceled score was a little closer, 40-27. But Bo Nix 19-29, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Troy Franklin led receivers with 6 catches for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins had 15 carries for 111 yards. R.J. Harvey ran 7 times for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns, caught a 5-yard TD pass. Broncos put up 7.5 yards per play, went 5 of 8 on third down, 4 of 5 in the red zone. The defense held the high-flying Cowboys offense to 5 yards per play, held them to 4 of 11 on third down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. Pass rush finished with 2 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Dondre Tillman, Jahdae Barron, the rookie, each had interceptions. Broncos lost Pat Surtain to a shoulder injury just before halftime. He's too weak with a pectoral strain. He won't be available on Sunday, and they're still deciding whether he goes on the IR. Marvin Mims Jr. is also in concussion protocol. That's the Broncos. Let's talk about the Texans. Passing offense, 25th. Rushing offense, 10th. Red zone offense, 2nd worst in the league. Third down offense, 25th. Their defense, though, strong. Their pass rush is 2nd best in the league. Third down defense is 3rd best in the league. Pass defense, 8th. Rush defense, 13th. Their only problem is their red zone defense is 2nd worst in the league. Texans come in off their most thorough, impressive win of the season. Now it's a broken, battered 49ers team, but 26-15. Noise canceled score was 27-15. Outgained the 49ers 475-223. Stroud was 30 of 39 for a season-high 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. I know that there's a lot of backers of the 49ers here next week, but if CJ Stroud does that with no Nico Collins and Christian Kirk in the lineup, don't you think that Dart can do that to the 49ers? Very weak secondary as well. And again, it's going to take more work. But Xavier Hutchinson led receivers with 5 catches for 69 yards, touchdown. Jalen Noel was next with 5 for 63. Woody Marks, 11 carries for 62, caught 4 for 49. Texans dominated time of possession, 41 minutes and 22 seconds. They held the ball for 10 of 17 on third down. But their 31st ranked red zone offense struggled again, 1 of 5 in the red zone. The defense was very strong, held the 49ers to 3 of 10 on third and fourth down. But their 31st ranked red zone defense allowed the Niners to go 2 for 2 down there. That's a problem. It's a real problem. And it's a problem for unders. I was fortunate to catch the full game under, but I lost the first half under. I shouldn't have. It's this fucking red zone defense for the Texans is so bad. Pass rush finished with 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Kamari Laster had an interception. And defensive end Dylan Horton injured his knee in the third quarter. His list is questionable this week. Take it away for us. Shout out to Chris Warren. Great to see you, man. Take it away for us here. Troy, Broncos, Texans.
I love this spot. I absolutely love this spot. I was texting you about it earlier. The market is beautiful. I know it's come back a little bit here, but the book I am basing a lot my market history database off of is at -2 right now. That's a beautiful number, and I backed this Broncos team with 3 units this past week. The Cowboys home road split, 60% of the cash and the bet, so everything was coming in on the road dog. The spread opened at 3, moved to 4. It was a beautiful spot. It was an absolute beautiful spot. Now we're looking at a complete opposite market where everybody's aping in on this Broncos team after what they just seen, and the line is completely disagreeing with them moving the other direction. And just how we've talked about it many times now, on the live streams, on Bankroll Blitz. Basically, every time I start a handicap this season, I'm starting with home road functionality and schedule sequencing. And the Broncos, they haven't played a true road game since October 5th at Philly, where they lucked out in the fourth quarter. I don't want to say they lucked out. They beat Philly, and it just took one quarter to do so, just like they did with the Giants. I mean, they're coming up with their last 3 wins, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Jets. 2 of the 3 wins were underwhelming and generally just bad performances. There are 3 true road games this season. They lost to Indy, they lost to the Chargers, and they rallied from double digits to beat Philly. Now they go on the road to play the best defense in the NFL, which is terrible contrast when you're coming off a team against arguably the worst defense in the NFL and the Cowboys. I feel like the contrast is playing a huge role for me in this matchup. Going from the Cowboys to the Texans, there's going to be a sticker shock, and from home to on the road, where the Houston Texans have been significantly better. And not only just the Houston Texans have been better, but CJ Stroud has been. I mean, look at his home road splits. They're not even comparable. Bo Nix has been pressured at the lowest rate in the NFL this season on 22% of his dropbacks, the lowest rate in the NFL. And his worst game this season, with his lowest completion percentage, his lowest PFF grade, his lowest yards per attempt, and his lowest passer rating, came against the New York Giants, the only other good pass rush that he's seen. Now he gets the number 1 graded pass rush in the NFL, who doesn't need to blitz to generate pressure. The contrast between the Cowboys and the Texans is massive, and I plan on taking full advantage of that. And Broncos defense, I've been talking about. This is a good defense. Don't not get me wrong, but we knew regression was coming. Now we take out the best cornerback in the NFL, take him out of the equation, and we should expect an even worse performance. I know the Texans offense has its problems, and it's hard to make a case, especially looking at CJ Stroud, who's arguably the worst quarterback in the league against the blitz. But I feel like you're going to have to blitz a lot less if you're the defensive coordinator, because you don't have an island boy out there to take away one side of the field or one receiver completely. So there's just too much in favor of the Texans in this matchup. The Texans' strength of schedule is 8th. The Broncos is 25th. Broncos off 4 straight wins going on the road for the first time in a month. Bo Nix versus this Texans defense, the week-over-week contrast. Texans and Stroud significantly better at home. Denver defense lost their best player, and now you got a Houston line flipping from dog to favorite despite all the action coming in on the Broncos. It does, like, this is wheelhouse. Bruce Howard, BJ, my guy, I'm right there with you. I doubled up on this spot. Texans first half money line -115. Texans money line -110. I bet both of those. And I know Wager Detective, I saw you. This is the best bet of the week for you, man. Let's go. Let's get it. So I doubled up on this spot. I posted them in Discord as soon as I made the bets.
I agree completely. I agree. First half and full game, no need for a double result. Because it's.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, because the line was, I was considering it, right? Go for the big hit. I just don't know, especially knowing what the Broncos have done in the fourth quarter. Thought maybe just leave this one alone. Those double digit 2 touchdown plus comebacks is kind of spooking me.
Yeah, I mean, BJ, I don't think it's a buy low on Houston though. And though I don't think it's a buy low at all on Houston, because they just, had their best game of the year. But, and this is big, they're excited to come to the facility this week. The pressure is off of them, and it was weighing on CJ Stroud. I mean, it was weighing on them. And so that's big. I understand that we're not buying Houston low. Buying Houston low was last week, and, picked up 2.75 units on it. But still,
I mean, it's like, look at the Texans at home too, Jimmy. Look at the Texans at home. Their offense has been significantly better. Like, they outgained the Bucs, even though they lost. They outgained the Bucs by almost just under a full yard per play, 6-5. Like, just every game at home, you could tell. Like, the splits go back to last year. It's the same thing with Stroud, man. At home, he elevates. It's hard to explain.
No, Luke, they're not necessarily a go right now. The expectation, I'll get the latest expectation, but I don't know again with Nico's concussion. Like when you don't come back after a week, you might not come back after 3. Like it's one of those things. Kirk with the hamstring injury. I think that you'd have to, if you are making this bet, you'd have to go in thinking that they're not going to be there. And we just watch them deliver without them. So, yeah, I'm in. I'm definitely in. Okay, so Texans first half full game for Troy. I'm joining. What was the line on first half?
-115, and the full game is -110.
All right. So action is coming. Yeah, I'm glad to hear. Slow Jams. We just wanted to come back. That's all. Just come back. This city will be bumping. All right, we roll on. Head to afternoon action, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders here. Both teams coming in off a bye. Pretty interesting gambling situation. Let's talk about it here. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow. The Jacksonville Jaguars are -3 at -118. The look ahead was -3 at -104. It reemerged on Sunday night, 7:25 p.m., -3 -110. And the juice started moving towards the Jags. So you can pay for a 3.5 on the Raiders if that interests you. From a total standpoint here, we have a 45.5. This look ahead was 44, and it got bet up to 45.5 and then dropped to 44.5 before it reemerged Sunday night at 44. Then it got up. Then it dropped to 43.5. This was 43.5, 7:45 yesterday morning. Then climbed up 2 full points to 45.5. So interesting line movement here. When we get to the cash flow, we have, here we go. 78% of tickets, 78% of cash on the Jaguars, 62% of tickets on the over, 86% of cash on the over. Drewski says Raiders are terrible, and they just required Lockett. Good call, BJ. I do believe that the Jaguars are who I thought they were in the first place. Now, we'll see in the second half of the season. Both teams needed this bye week desperately. Let's start with the Jaguars. Passing offense 18th, rushing offense 15th. Red zone offense 22nd. Third down offense is the second worst in the NFL at 32.3%. Pass defense 12th, rush defense 15th, red zone defense 20th, third down defense 17th, pass rush 20th. It's not a statistically strong football team. They were last seen coming off their bye week, last seen their second straight loss, an ugly 35-7 setback to the Rams in the UK. That came on the heels of a 2012 home loss to the Seattle Seahawks in week 6. So they're coming off 2 teams that I think are elite football teams. So that's important. They're coming off playing the best teams, not the very best teams in the league or anything, but elite teams in my estimation. So let's go back to when Liam Cohen took this job. It was all about, well, I've got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, and then I've got Brian Thomas Jr. at receiver, right? You start there. And then that's your offense. You're like, oh, I'm so excited. Look what I got, these young talents. And then you go, okay, my defense, I've got Tyson Campbell at cornerback, and look at these defensive ends, Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. Well, we're halfway through the year, and they've all been bad. Campbell has been traded. Lawrence has a career low 58.7% completion rate, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks. He has receivers that can't catch. Brian Thomas, so that 25 drop passes by the Jaguars, 8 by Thomas. This is a far cry from that 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie. So what was decided, and quote unquote from Cohen on the bye, we are going to play the best 11 players as much as humanly possible after the bye, which means that the number 1 wide receiver is Travis Hunter. The number 2 wide receiver is Parker Washington. Hunter and Washington played 67 of 77 offensive. Oh, sorry. Hunter played 67. Washington played 68. Thomas played 51. So it's a different team. And what did Hunter do? 8 catches for 101 yards, his first touchdown. Jaguars started the year 4-1. they had a league-leading 14 takeaways. I told you guys that was luck. It was fucking luck. And what was going to happen when their luck dried up? They were going to start losing. And that's what they've done. They've been fucking losing. So 14 takeaways in 5 games. Jacksonville has 8 sacks this year. 8. Hines Allen has a half sack. Walker, the number 1 pick in 2022, Hines Allen, the 7th overall pick in 2019, has 2. It's not a good football team. Now, they did just play elite teams, and they're coming off of a bye. So are the Raiders. Passing offense ranked 29th, rushing offense ranked 29th, red zone offense the worst in the league. This offense is terrible. Their pass defense is second worst in the league. Rush defense 25th, third down defense 29th, pass rush 25th. Their defense is terrible. Raiders coming off their bye week. They were last seen in an ugly 31-0 loss at Kansas City in week 7. So they also played a very good football team, an elite football team. It was their second loss in 3 weeks by more than 30 points. Before these 2 games, their last loss by 30 points was 4 years ago. And the last time they had 2 losses of 30 plus was back in 2019. 4.9 yards per play is what they're doing. We thought that Geno Smith was going to be an upgrade over AOC. Well, last year in the first 7 games of the year, the Raiders went 2-5, and AOC's pass rating was 86.7. Smith is 77.1. He's tied with Tagovailoa for the most interceptions in the league. The 77.1 pass rating is the 4th worst in the league. All we have is week 1 victory at New England. He had 4 passes for 20 plus. He's only had 3 in the last 6 games. Jacoby Myers, if you talk to him, he'll tell you, well, I'd like to be traded. And he'll smile and he'll walk off and get a coffee. Genty has looked pretty good, but this offensive line is horrific. I mean, this guy is getting hit behind the line of scrimmage almost every time he has the ball. They have offensive drives with the score 28% of the time. That's second to last in the league. 14.7 points per game for Chip Kelly. That's the lowest through 7 games since 2009 with Jamarcus Russell. Now that team was 8.9. What's going on with this defense? They bring in Tyson Campbell. Oh, no, they didn't bring in Tyson Campbell. Sorry. Caillou Blue Kelly is the only cornerback that's worse than Tyson Campbell. He's allowed 399 yards in coverage. So what's going to change? Jacoby Myers wants to trade. He'll tell you that. Smile. But he's going to play. Crosby's going to be back. Brock Bowers going to be back. But none of them's been confirmed in. These are 2 terrible football teams. But nobody's calling the Jags terrible football team. Take it away, Troy.
I agree with you. I think we are looking at 2 terrible football teams. But right off the bat, again, we're looking at the 3.5. The 3.5 in this total range. Teams that open and close between 3 and 3.5, not on prime time, and in this total range are a perfect 10-0 ATS, 10-0 straight up. But if you look at these teams, now the Jaguars do exist in this sample. They beat the Colts in 2023 in the week 1, so that should be an asterisk. But most of the sample is right in this range: weeks 8, weeks 10. Week 13, week 11. Like, I feel like this is a very, this is a pretty, a market, a data, a profile, should say, that I kind of trust, because all of the averages in terms of the cash flow, the total, the spread, it's all netting out to what we're seeing right here. So right off the bat, I mean, I'm kind of biased in this situation towards the Jaguars. The Raiders team is as you would say, this quote reminds me of a factory of sadness. Like, they got 2 wins on the season against the newly constructed Patriots team in week 1 and against the Titans team, who is probably, like I mentioned earlier, the worst team we've seen since the 2008 Lions. It's pretty clear that they have been more competitive at home, but it's not glaring home road dichotomy like it is with the Cowboys. And you touched it. I hit on this Geno Smith guy every single week. You touched on his 4th worst passer rating behind Browning, Ward, and I forget who the other quarterback is, but you're sitting right next to Browning and Ward. It's not a good look. 5th worst passing grade per PFF. The pressure to sack rate is an alarming 23%. That's not good when he really hasn't seen any good pass rushes, and it's not like he's going to see one this week, but it's definitely notable. And he continues to make the same mistakes, becoming fixated on one specific target, not adjusting to the post-snap look. And the Raiders' offensive woes. To me, I know the offensive line hasn't performed, but they fall squarely on Geno Smith and Chip Kelly. And defensively, like, they have two good players. They have Max Crosby and Jamal Adams. But how desperate are you as a defense to put 213-pound Jamal Adams at the Sam linebacker position? This man is a safety. He's 213 pounds. This team is 25th or below in all of the major defensive categories. And we've seen this coming with the Jaguars. I mean, the loss in week 2 at Cincy was the indicator that this team was a short. Really only one impressive performance, and it was against the Chiefs. Trevor Lawrence had an out-of-body experience, and he made a lot of what he did was on the ground with his legs. And I've made parallels. It's funny because I made parallels between these two quarterbacks, between Lawrence and Geno Smith. They can't seem to make the professional throws. They can't throw it outside the numbers. They can't throw it into tight windows or with any type of anticipation. The difference is when Trevor Lawrence's first read is not there, he freezes up and takes the sack. Geno Smith throws it right into that coverage and throws a pick. Trevor Lawrence, bottom 5 in completion percentage, yards per attempt. I mean, he's right there. Like, these two quarterbacks are bad. But at least he's seen some quality defenses. The Rams, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Texans. I feel like Geno Smith has had a much easier set of defenses to play against. And the Jaguars defense, they do have some dogs too. They play some coverages I like, but they're they tackle well. Outside of that, it starts to unravel. The defensive front, which is supposed to be their strong suit, is not performing. They can't get off blocks in the run or pass game. I mean, the market alone makes this a Jaguars or pass spot. I'm just not confident in it. Both teams coming off a bye week, slightly better at the quarterback position with Trevor Lawrence. At least this Jaguars team has hope for a playoff berth, where the other team seems like they're turning into a cancerous organization. And they have a better coaching staff. You got Cohen, Udinski. I mean, Udinski could evolve into a monster as well. Man, the 3-point spread. I got to look towards the Jags in this one. I haven't bet it yet. I don't really have conviction to make the bet.
Yeah, we're going to learn so much of these teams off the bye. I expect them both to look better. And the Raiders can look much better and still lose and not cover. So I can understand, like, as much as I want to fade the Jaguars, I don't want to back the Raiders.
Right. And as much as I feel that you could say the same thing, I want to fade the Raiders as well. Because, like, you look at the gauntlet this team has just played for Jacksonville. The Rams, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Niners. Like, at least they've ran into some resistance. Am I wrong in thinking the Las Vegas Raiders have had a pretty easy schedule and they just haven't showed up? No, they had the Colts, but they lost a game to the Bears they should have won. They got smacked by Washington in Washington. It's tough. This is a really tough game.
Our guy AM saying this is the best under on the board. While I don't disagree at all, the fact that they're coming off the bye, and we know Liam Cohen is an offensive mind, and we know that Chip Kelly's being hammered in the. I mean, I think there's going to be tricks and stuff. But if they weren't both coming off the bye, now you could say also coming off the bye will help the defense prepare and all those things. That's fair. But
and Cohen and Udinski, like this, the offensive play calling and the scheme is there. Like I'm thinking back to the Seahawks game where they put together a perfect scheme to exploit the quarter coverage, and Trevor Lawrence just couldn't execute it, man. He couldn't execute it.
Yeah, I don't know who is the best quarterback on the field.
I want to say Trevor Lawrence at this point, just because he at least put up points against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he's played tougher defenses too.
But I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I'm shocked that I would. I mean, obviously, I guess I'm sort of.
Well, people like Geno Smith, man. I feel like every year he tricks people. He tricks people, man.
I think it was past tense. I don't think they like him anymore, but they once liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be involved. Shout out to AM, best under on the board. Dougie Wise liking the Jags. Harold Williams says Jags by far. Vincent Hawkins says Jags roll, Raiders team total under. So let's roll on to our next spot on the board. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Saints 1-7, 0-3 on the road to the LA Rams 5-2, 2-1 home. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. If the Seahawks weren't in the NFC West, I'd be sitting back thinking, "Good God, the Rams are going to make me money." But I'm starting to scare the Seahawks more. Be scared of the Seahawks more and more every week. But the Rams are a really good football team. And the Saints are not a good football team. Let's take a look at this line history. Another one of those spots where, a big favorite. This total is a 44. It's minus 113 to the under. The look ahead was 45.5. It reemerges Sunday night at 44.5. It's dropped a half point since then down to 44. On the point spread here for this one, we have the Rams minus 13.5. Opened up the look ahead was minus 12. Reemerged Sunday night at 13.5, and it's just sat there. It's moved 10 cents towards the Rams at that huge number of 13.5. When we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 91% of the tickets, 88% of cash on the Rams. No information on the total. I'll switch to a different site, go over to the Action Network and that's money line. So let's switch to the spread. And here we have 77% of the tickets and 67% of cash on the Rams. And then on the total, we have 56% of the tickets, 49% cash on the under. So let's roll. Yeah, AOD. It's such a dope restaurant in Richmond, Virginia. I love it, man. I love it. La Possum. But let's talk Saints, Rams here. Saints passing offense ranked 19th, rushing offense ranked 19th. I mean, it's hard to believe that after what we're seeing, but that's what the stats are telling us. The stats are telling us that this is very similar offense to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's hard to believe that, but statistically, that's the profile. Red zone offense is the third worst in the NFL, though. 42.9% of the time they're scoring touchdowns. Their third down offense is 17th ranked, converting 38.8% of the time. Their defense has been pretty good. Now, their pass rush is the worst in the NFL. But their pass defense ranked 15th and the rush defense ranked 5th. Red zone defense 11th, allowing touchdowns 57.7% of the time. Their third down defense ranked 10th, allowing conversions 36.5% of the time. They're coming off an ugly 23-3 loss at home to the Buccaneers. Noise canceled score was a little better at 17-7. Outgained the Buccaneers 275-212. Spencer Rattler was 15-21 for 136 yards, no touchdowns in the pick. That pick was a gifted pick six as well. Before being pulled for Tyler Shuck. Shuck was 17-30 for 128 touchdown, and he himself had an interception. Rashid Shaheed led receivers with 9 catches for 75 yards, but both Shaheed and Rattler lost fumbles. The running game was nowhere to be found. The group combined for 15 carries for 48 yards. Kendra Miller done for the year. But we know what it is. We know what it was, and it's Eric McCoy lost for the year in Week 7. You lose your Pro Bowl center. What happens? The kid falls apart. Simple. The defense tried to keep them in it, held the Bucs to 3 of 13 on third down, just 3.8 yards per play. Pass rush finished with 3 sacks and 4 quarterback hits. This is a worst ranked pass rush in the National Football League. Let's talk about the Rams because I'm in love with them. I'm in love with my futures, and I'm very, very scared of the Seahawks. This is the number 1 ranked passing offense in the NFL. They're the third worst rushing offense in the NFL. So they're not perfect. Red zone offense ranked 17th. Third down offense ranked 21st. But this defense, good God. Pass defense ranked 3rd. Rush defense ranked 2nd. Red zone defense, number 1 in the league, tied with the Broncos, allowing touchdowns just 40% of the time. Third down defense 4th. Allowing conversions 34% of the time. Pass rush 7th, coming off their bye week. Last seen them dismantling the Jaguars 35-7 in the UK. Matt Stafford hasn't missed a game because of injury. Look at this. I mean, I feel like it's too good to be true. I feel like, and I don't want to talk about it, but he's putting up incredible numbers, and now he is in the most valuable player race. When we saw him in London, 5 touchdown passes, 10 different receivers caught passes. Good God. And there was no Puka Nacua. He did it without Puka. So listen to this defense. Dating back to last December, Troy, listen to this. They've held 7 of their last 13 opponents to under 10 points. I don't think people realize how fucking good the Rams are and how thankful I am that I've got futures on them. That doesn't sound like, that sounds like football from 50 years ago. Doesn't sound like now. Now Jacksonville did put up 358 yards, 6 drives in the Rams territory, 6 drives. You know how many points they scored in those 6 drives, Troy?
3?
Zilch. Fucking 0. 3 stops on downs, sacked Trevor Lawrence 7 times. This team is a monster. Now, Nakua is supposed to return after the bye. So is Rob Havenstein. He missed 3 games with an ankle injury. He is supposed to play. Puka Nakua is confirmed that he's going to be out there. But Tutu Atwell, he came back from injury in the UK. He re-injured his hamstring. Now they put him on IR. And Puka Nakua, Troy said it right away. I laughed at him. He told me that we were, after game 1, that we're looking at a Hall of Famer. I was like, come on. He's an absolute monster. This team is a fucking engine. But do you want them minus 13.5? I don't. We know the 49ers are on deck. Take it away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The 49ers are on deck, and the history of the Rams as a home favorite of more than 7 makes me want the under. I mean, as a home favorite of more than 7 with Stafford on the field, they're only 1-3 ATS, or 3-1 straight up, 2-2 on the total. The only loss in that sample is against Shanahan. So you can kind of throw that one out. I mean, I expect this team not to cover, but to win the game. And I do expect this total to go under, because the 2 games in that sample that most closely related to this game, it was week 7 of 2024 against the Raiders. It was a 20-15 final. Week 6 of 2022 against the Panthers, a 24-10 final. I look at the broader sample and I want to bet the under. And I seen this market start ticking down this morning. And I knew, like, once, and this is the exact spot where I was talking about the a very similar price range with the Packers game. It was at the Packers game where I was like, we want to see this total tick to 44 and below. And when it does that, it goes under at a ridiculous 82% rate. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. I bet the under 44.5. It's ticked down to 44, down to 43.5. I'm starting to be able to, because I have the database and how often, how frequently lines move towards the home team, move towards the road team, also move towards the over and towards the under. And historically, this market moves towards the under. So I was ahead of it. I bet the under 44.5. I posted that this morning. It's just on this, from a side standpoint, it's not a price range I want to get involved with. I think the Rams defense is as legit as anybody's in the league outside of the Texans. I feel like the Texans probably have the best defense in the league, but the Rams are right up there, right next to them. I can't see the Saints generating offense. I definitely can't see the Saints scoring touchdowns in this game. And I think the Rams, like you said, they have the 49ers on deck. This is a game where they're going to want to win and get out, just like we talked about with the Chiefs. They're going to want to win and go home. That game went under with flying colors. I feel like we see this game go under pretty comfortably. And if anything, the Saints defense was impressive. The goal line stands, the plastered cornerback coverage on nearly every snap. Kool-Aid McKinstry was an absolute savage out there. And Chase Young, I mean, he's grading out as 5th at his position. I mean, this was a guy this is what we expected from this guy coming out of the draft. And DeMario Davis is still a violent man who apparently ages like fine wine. So the defense is okay. They can't really, they only got one guy that's really getting any type of pressure on the quarterback. But other than that, this is a solid defense. So I could definitely see a situation where we get more field goals than touchdowns. I don't see the Saints really getting past 15 points. And I think both teams go under their team total. At one point I was thinking, is the under the play, or is betting both teams to go under their team total the best play? Which I was heavily considering. And I didn't move that. I just moved on the one bet, the under 44.5 at minus 107 at BOL.
Oh, I'm right with you guys. A whole bunch of you guys on it. Some of you moving on the Saints team total under. It's just, that's not, now this could be one time where you do. I would like to know who's exactly starting. We don't even know.
I know. I think I feel like it's not right. I don't know if you call it Shaw or Shuck, whatever his name is. Shuck. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be putting up a ridiculous amount of points. I feel like if he's in, you're just going to see an offense that slows down. The efficiency of the offense probably gets a little bit worse. I think they moved on from Rattler too early, and And just because I don't think Shuck is very much behind him.
They're saying it is Shuck starting. I would go with Shuck. I mean, I can't. That look Rattler had on his face after throwing that pick six.
Oh my God, that was the most embarrassing. That was the most embarrassing play I think I've ever seen. The most disrespectful fucking play. I mean,
I'm with you
the
guys.
way he shrugged him off at the goal line like he was a child, like a rag doll, man. It was
Still,
sad.
the look as if somebody else had made the mistake. I'm with you guys. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm gonna bet it as soon as the show's over. I'm with you guys. I love it.
It's not about Rattler as much as it is Shuck. I don't know. We haven't seen enough, so maybe I'm just selling them too early. But
Well, I mean, did you see the clips of Shuck in preseason? I mean, they were,
no, I did not.
They were bad, really bad. But look, it's just tale of two evils, man. I don't know. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm with you guys. Let's roll on to the game of the week. We had to work through all these trash football games to get to the big one. Chiefs, Bills, football heaven at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. It is getting colder up here. I wonder what it is at Orchard Park, New York. I had the weather for the other games. I don't have it here. Let's see. Orchard Park weather on Sunday, and we have we have light rain at this point that's supposed to come in during the game. So at kickoff, there's no rain. Light rain's supposed to come, but then it goes away. So who knows how big of a deal it is? It is double-digit winds, 11 or 10 miles per hour. This is going to be fun football, and we need it after these trash football games that we've been talking about. Some weeks just work out like this. We have a 52.5. A total that I think is too high. The look ahead was 51.5. It dropped down to 51, but it got back up. Oh no, it dropped to 51. Reemerges on Sunday night at 51.5. Goes up to 52, back to 51.5. Now up to 52.5. I think this is too high. On the spread, we have the Buffalo Bills +2. The look ahead was 1.5. Opened up again at 1.5. Dropped down to 1. And moved to 2 this afternoon. We should probably touch on the money line as well. Of course, money line would have come out later. From a money line standpoint, we have Buffalo at +118. The look ahead was +105, and then it came out on Sunday night at -102. So there's been a pretty legit move towards the Chiefs since it reemerged. So it's gone from -118 to -138. So 20 cents of movement on the money line here. Rose Putt says no Ed Oliver for Buffalo. Bad spot to miss him. Okay, so you're going to run it 30 times. I really like this situation because of the injuries around the Bills and because of the big deal that is going to be made of them all. And I'm not sure if it deserves that big of a deal because this is a defense in transition with new pieces coming in. And I have had these player grades from the Buffalo game. Now, Ed Oliver obviously starred in these player grades, but Maxwell Hairston, he didn't play many plays, neither did Ed Oliver. It's hard to have these grades when you play 50, 60, 70 plays. It's easier when you only have 19 plays out there. But we'll get into all of this here. We have the Chiefs passing offense ranked third. Oh, let's take a look at the cash flow. Cash flow, 62% of the tickets on the Chiefs and 93% of the cash. Now, that's on the spread. 66% of tickets on the over, 94% cash on the over. Both lines have moved in that direction here. Then when we get to Action Network, they have 31% of tickets on the over and 68% of cash, saying it's very sharp. The spread, they have 45% of tickets, 59% of cash on the Chiefs, so much different. And then the money line. The all-important money line, 52% of the tickets, 75% of cash on the Chiefs. So clearly, cappers are backing the Chiefs. And I'm going to let Troy hammer how the Chiefs have been at home playing against the weakest of competition. And now we're going on road. And I know that's in Troy's wheelhouse, so I'll let him hammer that. Let's talk about the Chiefs. So passing offense ranked 13th, rushing offense ranked 6th. It looked really good last night. Red zone offense 5th, 70.6%. They score touchdowns. Their third down offense ranked 6th, 44%. Troy's also been talking about how this is reminiscent of the Chiefs team from 5 or 6 years ago, where it's offense first. This offense is very good because the pass defense is ranked first. So it is a tricky statistical profile. That's where they succeed, is their pass defense with Spags. But the rush defense ranked 23rd. Red zone defense is ranked 12th. They allow touchdowns 57.9% of the time. Their third down defense is 16th. They allow conversions 38.4% of the time, and their pass rush is 18th. Those aren't very good numbers. If you put a line through the pass defense, which you shouldn't, then it's a very middling defense. They come in off a short week as well. They dismantled the Commanders 28-7. The noise canceled score was a little closer, 29-13. They outgained the Commanders 432 to 260. That came on the heels of destroying another weakling at home when they crushed the Raiders 31-0 in week 7. Against the Commanders, Mahomes was 25-34 for 299, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Kelsey caught 6 for 99 touchdown. Rasheed Rice caught 9 for 93 in a touchdown. Pacheco ran 12 times for 58 yards. While I was extremely impressed that he bounced back up and wanted to go back in after that heavy hit to the knee, he is not playing this week. He is a right MCL sprain, so he's week to week, and he won't be in the lineup. The Chiefs ran 30 times for 148 yards and a touchdown. So when you're saying that they're going to move the ball, you are saying that it's Hunt that will move the ball, and Hunt looks better than I've seen him look in a few years. The offense looked like a fine-fueled machine. 6 of 12 on 3rd and 4th down, a perfect 4-4 in the red zone. The 18th ranked pass rush was quiet. 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Dan and Cochran had interceptions. Yes, they dominated the Commanders with Marcus Mariota at quarterback, but what will this defense do to the Bills? Trey Smith was inactive because of a back injury. First-round pick Josh Simmons remains away from the team for personal reasons, and they spoke about it today. He's coming back in a few weeks. So you're taking players off of this Chiefs team, and everybody's just watching them dominate at home in the cushiest of environments. Let's talk about the Bills. Passing offense ranked 8th, rushing offense 2nd, red zone offense 13th, 64.3%, third down offense 7th, 43.8%. It's very strong. How weak is this defense? That's the question that needs to be answered. And I think it's stronger because even with Ed Oliver out, they've added to the defense. Pass defense 29th, rush defense 29th. Look, it's bad. Red zone defense 10th, third down defense 23rd, pass rush 6th. McDermott 9-0 off the bye. Allen 8-0 off the bye. Snapped a 2-game losing streak with authority. Who cares? They played the Panthers. Panthers were undefeated at home, but it's not a big deal. Noise canceled score was 34-12 Bills. They outgained the Panthers 410 to 244. It was 40-3 heading into the 4th. They gashed them on the ground. Cook ran 19 times for 216 yards in 3 quarters. Josh Allen was 12-19 for 163 yards in a touchdown. Also ran 3 times for 7 yards, 2 touchdowns. Established the NFL record by becoming the first player to run and throw for a touchdown in 46 games, breaking the mark previously held by Cam Newton. Shakir caught 6 for 88 in a touchdown. And who came back? Their first-round pick, Maxwell Hairston, made his career debut at corner. Now, he only logged 27 snaps, but some very impressive grades here. He was the ranked 4th of the Bills on defense, 77 grade defensively, 69 run defense, 72.8 tackling, 75.7 coverage. It was by far the highest coverage of number of anybody on the Bills. So you're adding him to this defense. Now, he only played 44% of snaps. But that's what you want in their first game back. Let's talk about Hoyt and Ogunjobi. They returned from 6-game PED suspensions to add strength to the pass rush. Now, Hoyt graded high on the pass rush, but he didn't grade high on everything. Hoyt was 76.7 on the pass rush. That ranked 3rd. His tackling was 29.2%. It was bad tackling. But look, it's his first game back. He needs to get some time under his belt. We watched this exact same thing happen with Perryman and Khalil Mack for the Chargers. The first game back, they did not look very good. The second game back, they looked very good. Ogunjobi. So we talk about Larry here. These are 2 300-pound beasts. We talk about how small this defensive pass rush is, this defensive group. He has a 69.8% tackling rate. So his pass rush wasn't that good. But again, it's his first game back. I expect more. Pass rush had 7 sacks and 9 quarterback hits because it's different now. AJ Epinesa had an interception. Now, unfortunately, they lose Ed Oliver to the biceps injury. He's already undergone surgery. He's out indefinitely. Could be done for the year. They're already down to Quan Jones, who's been dealing with a calf injury. Safety Taylor Rapp placed on IR. Linebacker Matt Milano remains out. But that's all you're going to hear about. You're going to hear about that all week. the missing pieces to the defense. Are they also going to talk about Hoyt and Ogunjobi back and Maxwell Hairston back? I bet you don't hear about it, because all I've heard are people talking about Ed Oliver's gone. The defense is injured. The fucking Bills are a smash spot here. Take it away, Troy.
Oh, you did a great job breaking this one down. You did a great job breaking this one down. Honestly, both these teams this season have been on my fade list. And I faded this Bills team. I've talked shit about them all season, and mostly because of their defense. I've cashed by fading them with Atlanta, with New England, a loss with Baltimore early in the season. But the narrative I've continued to drive is it's a bend but don't break defense that doesn't work with the small front seven, with a team that cannot hold up on the ground, especially when they get when that field shrinks and they get into the red zone. But like you called this out, man. The defense getting healthier with Ogunjobi and Hoyt, 305 and 310-pound defensive interior linemen. It just makes a world of difference in terms of just not getting blown back into your linebacker's face, because linebackers cannot play when their defensive front, their down linemen, are getting pushed back into their face. I also think Jordan Poyer coming back, I think he's going to be stealing the starting role. I believe in Jordan Poyer. The reason we faded this Bills team is strictly because their size and their vulnerability in the front seven. Much less of a concern with two quality 300-pounders back, and even less of a concern against the Chiefs, who really don't want to run the ball on the interior very much anyway. And as this field shrinks, as this defense is getting bigger, and in my opinion, getting healthier, I feel like they're going to limit the red zone opportunities moving forward. And it's a breath of fresh air for Bills fans and backers alike. And it's making me much more bullish what we just seen. I know it was the Panthers. I know they were coming off a bye, and it was a powder keg type of situation. But I think it was a drastic difference watching that game. And I had to go back and rewatch because, like I said, I've been so down on this Bills team relative to the market, and I've been winning because of it. But now it's time to zag. We have the Chiefs returning to their status as the sweetheart of the NFL. And I'm here to burst the bubble, man. So they start off their season with losses to the Eagles and the Chargers. The Eagles were at home. The Chargers were not at Arrowhead. Then they go to play New York off of 2 losses, and they win 22-9, which looks like a convincing win. But Russell Wilson was a starting quarterback, and the only worse quarterback than Russell Wilson is Jake Browning. And even with Russell Wilson, both teams averaged 4.6 yards per play in that game. Then they get Baltimore, who were missing a handful of defensive starters, a handful of offensive players, and then Lamar Jackson and multiple offensive players go out in that game. So another asterisk on that game. Then they play Jacksonville on the road. One of their true road games this season. They lost by 3. They couldn't stop bum-ass Trevor Lawrence to save their life. Then they get Detroit, which I feel like that game was fixed from the early stages. Mob shit in the market, clearly, with all the money coming in on Detroit, line moving towards the Chiefs. No penalties for KC, despite clear evidence of holding and multiple penalties from pass interference all across the board. False starts. Then you get the latest flag in NFL history, taking 4 points off the board. And the Lions, that was their first game without their secondary with a bunch of injuries. Then they had the Commanders, right? Who am I missing here? Am I missing somebody on this schedule? The Raiders. Yeah, I just skipped the Raiders because 31-0 against the Raiders, at home. I mean, it's not even a comparable situation. Now, Washington kind of is because they have a mobile quarterback. Their offense is definitely better than their defense is. And I thought that with Mariota, all things considered, they were able to move the ball and have some success, but just the lapses on 4th down when they got into the scoring area, not kicking the field goals, just really changed the complexion of that game. They fall behind. They didn't have nothing left. I look at this schedule, this resume that the Chiefs have built, and I just want to poke holes in it. What have they done in their non-home games, the games away from Arrowhead? They lost to the Chargers, they lost to Jacksonville, and they beat Russell Wilson when they were off of 2 losses. I just feel like this is totally a situation I want to take advantage of. Like, simply put, I believe that we're buying low still on this Bills team after what we've seen this season. I still think there's definitely some upside to where the Bills currently sit, and it's a sell high situation very clearly on this Kansas City Chiefs team. We're off 3 straight home games, which is the most bullish thing of this entire handicap. The Chiefs are coming off 3 consecutive home wins. Now they travel to the most formidable opponent they've seen all season. The Bills are more rested, the healthier team. I feel like they've had more time to prepare throughout the bye week, knowing that this game was on their calendar. And I believe the Chiefs are in for a rude awakening. Listen, the Bills have had their number too throughout the regular season matchups. And I think it's because the Bills struggle versus run-based attacks. It's not the Chiefs' MO. Also, the Bills are going to be able to run the football. 3rd ranked rushing offense versus 23rd ranked rushing defense. I hammered this Bills team. Hammered them. I got the Bills money line plus 108 for 2 units. Got the Bills plus 1.5, minus 110 for a unit. And I bet those before last night. And then I got the Bills Ravens teaser at minus 120. And I feel very confident in my side. I don't think we're going to see a 3, 1.5, 2.5. It doesn't matter. Bills are winning this game outright.
Do you think, though, that for someone like myself, that they should wait? I do. Because everyone talking about Oliver being out. Everyone talking about the Chiefs. This line's moving towards the Chiefs. And to answer the question from our guy, BJ, I looked it up. Last year, when these teams played, the line was moving towards the Bills. The Bills closed at the line opened up at -1 and closed Bills -2.5, and Bills won by 9. But that was a very different situation. So for someone like me, Troy, do you think that I feel like I should wait?
Yeah, in that game last year, there was 60% of bets and 41% of cash on the Bills. So that's a complete different situation in terms of the cash flow dichotomy. I do agree. Like, you could wait on this game. I got it in just because I thought the Commanders were going to be more live yesterday, with the Kansas City Chiefs potentially looking ahead to this spot. But I would say you could wait. You might be able to get a plus 120. That might be the top of the money line market, but 2.5 will definitely be the top of the spread.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way it goes to 3.
But they can come out with 12 personnel. They can come out with 2 tight ends on the field, pound the rock, and work off of that. I mean, if you get the ground game going versus Chiefs defense that I think is susceptible to the running game, to a good rushing attack, especially with a mobile quarterback that they've struggled with this year. What did we see with the 2 mobile quarterbacks that they've seen? Trevor Lawrence, that fit a similar profile to Josh Allen in terms of mobility. You had Trevor Lawrence run all over, and you had Justin Herbert run all over them. What did Justin Herbert do in that game? I mean, it just adds more complexity to more things they have to defend. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of rushing the football.
I love it. I love the spot, but I'm going to wait a little longer. I think that you're hearing everybody talk about the injuries to the Bills defense, not about the additions last week. I just the optics are perfect. But
Rose putt, you definitely have a case to be made there, bro. Definitely have a case to be made for the under.
I think so too. I think so too.
He's been screaming from the mountaintops on that.
The only concern is how different this Chiefs team is from the last year or two.
Right.
So, because, but I agree. But both the totals climbing and the lines moving towards the Chiefs. So I've got to figure out and time this right. But I will be on the Bills and in a couple different spots here.
Oh yeah, I see heavy trends to the under as well.
Yeah, I want to keep this real clean. And you have been taking such great advantage over teams that have been home for 3 or 4 weeks. Imagine being home and playing the Commanders. Again, they're different, without Jaden Daniels at quarterback, but I bet their team total under 9.5 wins. I don't think they're a good football team.
Right.
And then beating the Raiders and the Commanders and Marcus Mariota quarterback, back-to-back games at home, and we get to fade that team. I mean, I find it absolutely perfect spot.
And then Detroit too. I mean, you could call it whatever you want. I mean, maybe I'm biased. You can call me biased too. So take it for what it is. The refs took the Lions out of that game pretty early.
Yeah, no, that's true. And Anthony Richardson said Oliver's a big loss. Yes, and I want everybody to talk about it over and over and over again all week. That's my goal because they're not talking about Hoyt and Ogunjobi. They're not talking about this first round pick cornerback who hasn't been there, Maxwell Hairston.
And I do think that he has something. But Jordan Poyer, I feel like Jordan Poyer played an awesome game this past week. I like to see him back in the lineup.
I think it's just, well, it's obviously the game of the week. So, all right, that was fun. Finally, we get to talk about a game that's fun. God,
in a row now. We started it was funny. I started off with 2 games I was on, then it was like a bunch of me passing, and I just felt like shit because of that. But I love it.
I'm excited. That's going to be really fun. I wish it was our Sunday nighter, but it's not. This is our Sunday nighter. 8:20 p.m. Eastern. The Seattle Seahawks 5-2, 3-0 on the road at the Washington Commanders 3-5, 2-1 at home. Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland. Beautiful weather on Sunday night for football. It'll be about 49 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 3 mile per hour winds. It will be perfect football weather. Let's take a look at this line history and the cash flow, our live stream right here. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, honestly, because I've got Breeders on Saturday. So I am not entirely sure how I'm going to pull off the Sunday. I may have to talk to Jose and beg him to. I'm just going to be so boozed up with the Breeders, and I'll just be and then I got to do the NFL pub-up Sunday morning, which I'll prepare for, but I can't turn it on again Sunday night. This line opened up here with Seattle -3 at +100. That was the look ahead. It reemerged a little after midnight Monday morning, Sunday night -3, -102. It got juiced immediately. 28-cent move, and then it moved to 3.5. The 3.5, since it's been there, has moved towards Washington. It opened up at 3.5 at -115. Now it's 3.5 at -122. I mean, clearly this is, Jaden Daniels is back, and still I don't get it, because the more I study the Seattle Seahawks, the more I fear my Rams futures and think they're elite. The look ahead total was 46. It reemerged this afternoon. It didn't come around until this afternoon, 46.5. That's where it is right now, 46.5. We get to the cash flow here for this one. We have We have 95% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on Seattle Seahawks. I mean, the conviction you have to be on a play that public is enormous. And I don't ever want to be on that side, but I want to fade Washington badly. On the money line, 93% of the tickets, 96% of the cash is on the Seahawks. On the spread here, again, take it with a grain of salt because it's from action, but 90% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Seahawks. On the total here, as we don't have information from Odds Logic yet, but here we have 62% of the tickets on the under, but just 40% of the cash. Let's set this one up here. The Seahawks passing offense ranked 2nd. Darnold looks spectacular. Rushing offense ranked 4th. Red zone offense ranked 10th. Their third down offense being a bit of a problem, ranked 27th, 33.3%. Pass defense ranked 17th, but their rush defense is ranked 3rd. Their red zone defense is 4th in the league, allowing touchdowns 50% of the time. Their third down defense is 7th in the league, allowing conversions 35.6% of the time. And their pass rush is ranked 10th. Seahawks coming off their bye week. Last seen in an impressive 27-19 victory at home over the Texans in week 7. So they, we don't need to get too much into it, but it's very important to them that they win at home. They're 2-2 now at home. Last season, they went 3-6 and had 4 double-digit losses. So it's important to them. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been spectacular. I mean, this guy, he had caught 8 passes for 123 yards in week 7. That's his 5th 100-yard receiving game of the season. He's the second player in franchise history to record 3 straight 100-yard games. And his 500-yard games this season tied for the second most in the year by any Seahawks player ever, and it better be Steve Largent. Ernest Jones, how did they get him for nothing? Now they had to pay him a bit, but still, 3rd interception of the season. I don't understand. When he was being passed around, I was like, I guess I don't understand football enough, because here's a linebacker that you can use in coverage, and how enormously important that is. And yet, anybody could have got him.
And he's actually got good grades against the run as well, man.
That's why, right? He was, anyone could have had him. That's why he's being passed around a bit, was because of his issues with the run. But God, and so they also played with the linebacker Derek Hall, and then safety Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon. All are back this week. So also, this team is 7 points away from being 7-0. 7 points away from being 7-0. 7 points. That's it. Darnold has the 5th best passer rating in the league. Clint Kubiak and him are working very well together. Talk about this offensive line. Darnold has been sacked 9 times in 7 games. Remember last year? Now you could put the blame on Geno, but Geno was sacked 54 times last year. So what's the difference? Gray Zabel, first round pick. We saw the same thing with the Chargers when they got Joe Alt. And then we have a defensive line that looks excellent. The Packers are the only team that's allowed less rushing yards than Seattle. They have the 3rd most sacks. Leonard Williams, he's leading this team, but he's not. Last year, it felt like there were times where he was the pass rush. This year, there's a bunch of 5 Seahawks have multiple sacks. What a difference a year makes. And remember what happened with the Seahawks last year was they went into their bye at 4-5. Mike McDonald used it, and they were excellent down the stretch. Went 10-7. This year, they're 5-2 going to the bye. The Commanders, passing offense ranked 7th, rushing offense ranked 13th, red zone offense ranked 2nd. It's hard to believe. 3rd down offense ranked 18th, pass defense 3rd worst in the NFL, red zone defense 25th, 3rd down defense 20th. Rush defense has been pretty good, ranked 7th, pass rush 15th. Coming off a short week after an ugly 28-7 loss at the Chiefs, noise canceled score 29-13. The Redskins Commanders franchise have not beaten the Chiefs since September 18th, 1983. They're outgained 432 to 260. Marcus Mariota 21-30 for 213 yards, touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's lucky that Terry McLaurin's such a spectacular receiver because they would have been shut out. Mariota led this ground game. That's how ugly this rushing offense is. Now, it's still ranked 13th because when Jaden Daniels is there, it changes everything. But when Mariota's in there, he just load the box. He led the group with 8 carries for 28 yards. McNichols did lead receivers with 5 catches for 64 yards. McLaurin returns from the quad injury. Looks great, but he aggravated the quad injury late in the game. He's listed as questionable. They're going to watch him. Deebo Samuel returned from the bruised heel, and those 3 catches were spectacular. Deebo returns from the bruised heel. He had 2 catches early in the game and then just 1 more late. The defense tried to keep them in it, but couldn't get stops with the game online. Chiefs 4-4 in the red zone. Pass rush, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. In their first game since their leader in sacks, Dorrance Armstrong, was lost for the season. So that's a good sign. 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. Dorrance Armstrong had 5.5 sacks to lead the team. He's gone. Bobby Wagner and Marshawn Lattimore had interceptions. So they're turning back the clock. And Laramie Tunsil hurt his hamstring on the opening series. So we expect the offensive line to be weaker. Also, Matthew Wright was in place of Matt Gay kicking because Matt Gay's out with a back injury. God, I just want to hammer the Seahawks so badly, but if 95% of people are on one side making a bet, if I'm not on the other side, I don't really want to bet. But am I just leaving money on the table? Commanders are not a good football team. Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback. Seattle Seahawks might be a great football team. Take it away, Troy.
You see, I'm kind of talking on both sides of my mouth here because I've always talked about fading 3.5 point home dogs since 2023 Bankroll Blitz, since the very first season. And each year I get a little bit more conviction on fading these teams, and I've been fading them at will until this week where I bought the Steelers. Now there's a little bit of nuance to that market and that situation. Whereas I think this one's a lot more straightforward. I can give you stats on teams, home dogs that open and close between 3 and 3.5 until I'm blue in the face. You're going to find nothing but massive ATS and outright win trends in favor of the road favorite. My handicap really hasn't changed on these teams. You did a great job breaking it down. I feel like the Seahawks are one of the most well-rounded, talented defenses in the league. Everyone on their defensive front is well above average. Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed are 2 of the top 5 most double-teamed linemen in the NFL. And it's crazy looking at some of these double-team and chip percentages, like which linemen are getting double-teamed and chipped at the highest rates. It's actually pretty shocking to see. but you see it more on Seattle than anywhere else, which is surprising. And that's why the sack distribution is so wide. It's because so many guys, there's just so many viable pass rushers. Everyone in the secondary is above average. And I think Dearness Jones, I had some notes on him. You've covered him perfectly. I'm shocked at what he's been able to do this year. Even against the run, he's grading out well. Offensively, their defense is well-rounded and talented, but what about their offense? It's the same deal. Strong offensive line, mostly because of the weight the tackle position carries with Lucas and Cross, who are dogs. And you got a great scheme. You got a team that could run the ball. They could pivot off of play action. That's only going to help an offensive line. The weapons are all over the field. Wide receiver, tight end, in the backfield. Sam Darnold, who currently is the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. He's playing it. How can you doubt that? I know he's not. If I had to start a team, I wouldn't start with Sam Darnold. I wouldn't say that. But right now, he's performing as the best quarterback. His PFF passing grade, whatever metric you want to look at, he's top 5 in all metrics. PFF passing grade, passer rating, pressure to sack rate, big time throw rate, ADOT, yards per attempt. His spray chart is that of an NFL legend, and he's elite off play action. And I think that's where they're really going to grill this Commanders team. I don't think they have anybody that could stick the receivers one-on-one, especially Jackson Smith and Chigba. And the Commanders, here we go again, man. This is a fraudulent team by any advanced metric you want to consider. Despite their yards per carry, I think their yards per carry is like 4th in the NFL right now. But that's deceiving because their whole offensive line is not generating line yards in the ground game. It's scheme-oriented. It's QB-oriented. And the defense, this is the worst graded secondary in the NFL with an aging roster composition and a coach that wants to play cover 3 in 2025. You just can't do that anymore. You just can't get away with playing cover 3. And if he does that this week, he's going to get absolutely diced up. And I fully expect that to happen. And if Jaden Daniels comes back in, so be it. I feel like Mariota has been grading out way better anyway. And Daniels is a lot like Caleb Williams in a lot of ways because it's telling. Like, to me, it's very evident that he's trying to make a concerted effort to be more of a traditional passer because it's how you sustain yourself in the league. Teams adjust, and you could tell defenses have adjusted, and that's why we're seeing Jaden Daniels in the sophomore slump. They're forcing him to stay in the pocket. They're putting together schemes to maybe make him roll out right where there's a guy, a QB spy waiting for him to rush him. And another thing about Jaden Daniels is he cannot throw the ball to the left side of the field. First of all, he refuses to throw it to the left side of the field, and when he does, it's off target. It's a turnover-worthy play in most cases. He has the worst grades amongst any qualifying quarterback in the league to the left side of the field. So we got the Seahawks coming off a bye week. We have the Seahawks who've also been great on the road under McDonald. I think they're 11-1 straight up on the road under McDonald. You got Sam Darnold, who is 7-1 straight up, 5-2 ATS is a road favorite. You got the Commanders coming off a short week with injuries mounting. The Commanders who also had the Lions on deck. And we're looking at the magic 3.5. This is Seahawks all the way. I don't care what the public is doing. If anything, it makes me more confident. Up until this season, public road favorites on prime time in this price range have been undefeated ATS straight up until one game this season, which the Jaguars pulled it out of their ass against the Chiefs. Seahawks -3, -120. I posted this in Discord as soon as I bet it. I love the -3. You can still get -3s. They're available in the market at -115. I'd say go get it.
Why are they available?
Paper stats don't correlate like that. Yeah, but look how effective he's been. He's been an effective quarterback even versus I haven't seen anybody play as good of a game, even though you can poke holes in it. No quarterback has played as good of a game as Sam Darnold did against the best defense in the league in the Texans. Not one.
More and more money coming in on Seattle, and Circa moves it from 3.5 back to 3. Why? They also move it to a flat 3 with 90% of tickets and cash on them. So they've just added 5 cents to it to -115.
Jane Daniels is coming back this week.
But still, like why would this open up at 3?
I felt the same way. I feel a similar way about the Steelers. That's why I started this cap off with I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because this market is similar. Now the total isn't quite as high, which does change the profile, but at in this price range, it don't matter how public the road team is. It hasn't mattered historically, at least.
So if Circa closes this -3, -110, no concerns.
No concerns. for me.
I find it so hard to believe that we'd be given a gift like this from the books who want to take our everything. I don't know what to do, but not like it's so
feel you.
blatant.
I feel you.
It's so blatant. It's so hugely blatant. So maybe this closes at 4.5 anyways. And, but I can't, it's so difficult for me to comprehend. Digging says Washington in a great spot after being humiliated by the Chiefs and getting to play at home in prime time. But I don't care about the 3.5 Berkey. It doesn't matter to me. Like the 3 is such a small number. So
yeah, but that's another thing that I would be considering in this spot. Let's see what the money line price is. And there it is, the -175. I mean, let's see how many teams at a -3. You can keep talking, Jim, as I go pull this up.
I don't know. I don't know how else to act but scared. I understand that some of these public spots are still cashed, but it's just why would they give us this number when it's so clearly a better football team? Now, Digging had this great trend that I didn't know about. And I think, it says in this scenario with teams after Monday versus teams off a bye on Sunday Night Football, the team off of Monday's game is 6-0 against the spread. Dougie Wise, there is no chance that I'm going to be on Washington. It's just too easy. And when it's too easy, it scares me. I'll need to think about it longer. Troy on the Seahawks -3, -115. Let's roll on to Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football here. G just took Seattle -3.5 +105. Look, I get it. Alvin Smith says Seattle's play is not easy. Okay, Alvin. Why do you think 95% of the cash is on the Seahawks? I mean, look, but I hear what you're saying. It certainly statistically feels. Actually, Jose, can you bring us back to the Seattle game? Because this isn't probably how we want to start out the Monday game. So let me just finish. I think the Washington Commanders are a bad football team. I think Seattle is an elite football team. I don't think Jaden Daniels changes shit. I think he's better than Mariota, though. A lot better. So I disagree with Troy a little bit on that. I think he's much better than Mariota because against Mariota, he can't beat you with his arm. He was so lucky McLaurin caught that touchdown pass. That was poorly thrown, too. That should have been
those lofters.
So I think this is so easy, Alvin, here. Alvin, where is this sharp money? I hope it comes in. I hope it comes in because we're seeing, if you're saying that 5% of money is sharp or whatever, statistically, Seattle looks elite. They're coming in off a bye against the old defense that looks tired. And Alvin Smith says it will. Yeah, I mean, it seems too easy on the one side. So I think that from a statistical profile of a situation, this is so easy. Seattle's so much better. Look, I'm not on Seattle right now because I'm scared of how easy this feels. That's all. And Chris Warren saying Seattle's being better on the road.
Well, I'll just leave it at this with this profile. There's only been one game where you have a home team, home dog opening and closing 3.5 with 80% of the money on the road team. That team won. Hold on. Sorry. That team won at 80% or more. They won by 25. It was the Eagles at the Giants in week 7 of last year. 28-3 was the final score. And if you just open that cash flow up to 60% or more, that was 80% or more. Here's 60% or more. 8-3 ATS, 8-3 straight up, winning by an average of 12 points. And that includes the losses. So I'm not filtering that down to just when they won. That includes the 3 games where they lost by 3, by 4, and by 3. And they're just dominating the games they win by that much.
Yeah. I mean, Alvin, at this point in the week, it's not a whole bunch of Joes making these bets. So to have this drastic, so every other game we have this drastic of the amount of tickets and cash on the favorite. Those spreads are 9, 10, 12, 13. So being a 3, it's just very, very fishy to me. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm not, I don't know, I'm frozen. I'm like a deer in the headlights right now. I'm just frozen by how I see this. Now, digging has the trend on the other side, and I get it here. So let's roll on. We go on to Monday night action. Monday night here. Join us for our live stream, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. This one will have fireworks. Arizona Cardinals 2-5, 1-2 on the road. The Dallas Cowboys 3-4-1, 2-0-1 at home. We're at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have a total, as you would guess, at 54. 54 and climbing. Look ahead was 52.5. It actually dropped down to 51.5, back up to 52. Reemerges on Sunday night at 52.5, gets up to 53, then to 53.5, then 54. Wow. 54 on a standalone Sunday. We have the Cowboys minus 2.5. Look ahead was 3.5. Reemerges Sunday morning. I guess, no, that was still the look ahead. Reemerges Sunday night at 3 at a pick'em. Now we have a 2.5. This is pretty wild here. Digging has Cardinals 11-1 against the spread versus the NFC East. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. Let me get off of Circa. We have 86% of tickets, 88% of cash on Dallas. I've been enjoying very much backing Dallas on these spots after looking terrible on the road. But everybody and their mama wants to fade the Cardinals right now. 88% of tickets on the over, 94% of cash on the over. Alvin Smith, I don't know how you can differentiate the 90% of people on the Seahawks and then the 90% of people on the Cowboys with confidence. And I respect that you can. And Alvin says, love Dallas after a big loss. Sure. We've been backing them in those situations, but now they're playing against a much worse opponent, and this line is moving towards the much worse opponent with the market and everybody on the Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cardinals here. Passing offense ranked 12th, rushing offense 27th, red zone offense 18th, and the third down offense 5th. They convert third downs 44.8% of the time. Passing defense is ranked 12th, a little higher than one would expect. Their third down defense ranked 6th. They allow conversions 35.3% of the time. But their rush defense is bad, ranked 26th. Their pass rush is poor, 28th. And their red zone defense, middling. They allow touchdowns 60% of the time. Cardinals coming off their bye week. They were last seen in a tough 27-23 loss at home to the Packers in week 7. Gannon has not had a fun 2.5 years. 14 wins, 27 losses. This was their 5th straight loss. This is also a very different losing streak than we've seen. He's lost 5 straight games. Listen to this, Troy, by a total of 13 points. 3 of the losses have come on last-second field goals. All 5 of the losses have been by 4 points or less. That's only happened 2 other times in NFL history. The Cardinals have also blown 3 straight fourth-quarter leads. Kyler Murray expected to be back at quarterback. Jacoby Brissett looked great. He threw for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Packers. And the Brissett's 2 starts, the passing game has been the best it's been all year. Zay Jones, Michael Wilson becoming bigger parts of the offense. Trey McBride's been a beast. He caught 10 for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Packers. He also has 4 TD catches this year. Remember how long it took him to catch a TD pass last year? Drew Petzing was getting hammered until Brissett came in, and people were like, well, maybe Petzing can figure this out. But now Murray's back in. The offensive line looked bad. Micah Parsons got whatever he wanted, and Brissett was sacked 6 times. Why would that change here? So let's roll. Now, Alvin Smith says this is the dog of the week, but he's talking about a favorite. So Alvin is so I don't I think a dog needs to be have a plus beside their spread. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Passing offense 3rd, rushing offense 17th, red zone offense 12th, third down offense 8th. It's better than that. Their offense looks very good, especially at home. Their pass defense is ranked last. Their rush defense is ranked last. Their third down defense is ranked last. Their red zone defense is 28th. They allow touchdowns 68.8% of the time. Their pass rush ranked 16th. Coming off an ugly 44-22 loss at Denver. It's too bad because we've backed the Cowboys in every single situation that they've been in this, coming back home after getting embarrassed on the road. But here they're playing against a team that nobody wants anything to do with. And the line's moving towards that team that nobody wants anything to do with. The noise-canceled score was a little better, 40-27. Dak, 19 of 31 for 188 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We know what he's been doing at home. Pickens did catch 7 for 78. CD caught 7 for 74. Javonte Williams didn't, he did, have 2 touchdowns, but 13 carries for 41 yards, caught an 8-yard pass, not very good. Cowboys offense was held to 5 yards per play. They were just 4 of 11 on third down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. The Cowboys defense couldn't get stops. The Broncos averaged 7.5 yards per play, went 5 of 8 on third down, and was 4 of 5 in the red zone. 16th ranked pass rush was completely invisible. 0 sacks, 1 quarterback hit. Now Trequez Bridges had an interception. Safety Elijah Clark left with injured ribs in the second half. He's listed as questionable this week. And then we need to find out Wanye Thomas and Donovan Wilson, 2 safeties. Could they be back this week? Linebacker Jack Sanborn. Offensive tackle Yanni Cornelius. They were all inactive and listed as questionable. This one is going to be so much fun, Troy. I enjoyed capping it so much. I enjoyed talking about it. It's a wildly interesting Monday nighter. Take it away.
It's a really hard game for me. I haven't moved on yet. I will definitely have a bet on this game. I don't know exactly what I want to do with it. I kind of want to try to get under that total, especially looking at the Cardinals on the road with these high totals. I mean, they're 7-1 to the under with Kyler Murray on the field with a total above 47 on the road. So, and then you look at the market-wide profile of this 3 taking down to 2.5. It's kind of toggling between 3, 2.5, 3, right? With the move towards the road team. And historically, I mean, it's more of a 50-50 type of proposition on the ATS side of things. But when you filter it down to prime time and you throw all the money on the home team, somehow the home team has gotten the job done. Now that is kind of flipped. That trend has flipped this year. But over the past 4 years, it has been a favorable spot for the Cowboys. So you look at this database history that slightly favors the Cowboys, and it favors the under as well. And I want to start making a case for the Cowboys. I just don't know if I can get there. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit dependent on what happens with the very public Seattle side, seeing how that one plays out, because usually it zigs and zags, like I was talking about earlier. There's a push and pull dynamic with these primetime games, with the early slate and the late slate. A lot of it starts to balance out. And last week, I just can't stop thinking about this, right? The overs were 10-2. 10-2? Yeah, I think it was 10-2. And the favorites went 83% against the spread. So you'd imagine a lot of that comes back this week, and the bookies clean up on these favorites. They clean up on these over bettors. So it kind of makes me want to get under, and it scares me off the Cowboys, to be honest. It's just that, the Cowboys off a loss, coming back where it's been night and day home road dichotomy that, like you already discussed. Dak Prescott and this offense is absolutely elite in this environment. And a defense that plays at a little bit of an elevated level at home. They're still not good, but at least they have a little bit better showing at home. And still no losses at home for this Cowboys team in Dallas, which is impressive. On the other hand, the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are a competent football team. They got a great head coach, in my opinion, Jonathan Gannon. An offensive line, the O-line is stable, and they always will be with Paris Johnson at left tackle. The left tackle just elevates the entire line. We see it all over the place in every team that has a dominant offensive tackle, left tackle. They just got done playing the 2 of the best teams in the league down to the wire, in the Packers and the Colts. And I feel like it's just a shame that they're going back to Kyler Murray. Because honestly, if Brissett was at quarterback, I feel like I would want to be on the Cardinals in this situation. It's just I just hate Kyler Murray, who's having the worst season of his career by many measures. You look at passer rating, yards per attempt, ADOT, pressure to sack rate, all the worst of his career. And he lost his blankie, James Conner. I don't know what I'm going to do in this game. I kind of want to get under the total, although you can make it all right. Like Heike said, a total high enough, or high enough. But this Cardinals team, they do play a lot slower. They're not that explosive offensively. And if you watch this Cowboys team at home, what is a coach going to want to do watching this film? They're going to want to limit possessions and keep the ball out of the offense's hands. So I lean towards the under, and I want to see this cash continue, this market mature, and see what happens with the cash flow, see what happens with the line, who's playing quarterback, and lot to figure out here before I make a move.
AM says Kyler's playing for his job. He's also playing for next year's job. He's also playing for his legacy. This is one of the most important games of Kyler Murray's career. Jacoby Brissett just came in and was much better than him. Don't you think he comes in more focused than he's been all season long? Watching somebody succeed in his shoes while he hasn't been?
Is it like Bryce Young and Andy Dalton?
I don't think.
I know it's not exactly parallel, but
I think it's more like it's tough. It's tough. I was trying to find like a Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield example, but you're an established quarterback in the NFL and things are not going well. You've come back from injury. Your team sucked now for a few years. Your new coach, Rich Gannon, 14-27, with you as the superstar. A journeyman comes in and is much better statistically than you. Everybody's saying that you don't have it anymore. That's generally a spot where I want to back a quarterback, generally. But nobody in their right mind would want to back the Cardinals, I would guess, against the Cowboys at AT&T, where Dallas has looked so good. They have not lost, right? The only time they didn't win was against the Packers, who are excellent. And yet the Cardinals are less than a field goal. It doesn't make sense. And everybody and their mom are going to be on the Cowboys. Nobody's going to be on the Cardinals. Why would this, if this stays under 3, this goes to 2, the market is telling us that they're opening up their arms to anybody who wants to bet the Dallas Cowboys. And we know that people love betting the Cowboys, especially at home. And BJ saying let the market marinate. This is now, it depends on what you think of Kyler Murray, and I don't dislike him. This is one of the most important games of his entire career. If he sucks here, they should sit him. Let Brissett go. Maybe see if they can trade him to somebody by the deadline. What's the point of keeping him? And nobody's going to want him. His contract's too high. It's too expensive. So with that being said, who would possibly bet the Cardinals here? Nobody. So why is it under 3?
Oh.
So I've got to sit with this. I'm very much with BJ. I mean, the public is hammering the Cowboys. The public will hammer the Cowboys all week. You're going to have 90% of tickets and cash on the Cowboys. I want to know why this line isn't moving to 3 or 3.5. So, G says, seems like books are trying to use recency bias with some of these lines. Cowboys just got blown out, so we get a short number. But we've been in this situation. We've all cashed with the Cowboys. Maybe that's as simple as that.
No.
We've all made so much money back in the Cowboys at home after their losses all year. Everybody has. We've been, using the idea that the Cowboys are bad because of what they do on the road and backing them at home. So Yeah, Alvin, I'm not. Maybe Dallas first half is the right move. Maybe you absolutely nailed it. But again, when the public is heavy on a side and the line's not moving towards them, I have to have enormous conviction to be on them. And maybe you've nailed it. Maybe Kyler Murray comes in and he's doesn't look good. Maybe it's just this is nuts. This line is crazy to me. AM says it's going to be a bloodbath for the public on this primetime game. Okay. At this point, have you moved on the Monday Nighter, Troy?
No, I will be moving on the Monday Nighter, so stay tuned.
Oh, I certainly will as well. If BJ says if his number goes to 2, we're all over Arizona. If it goes up, then Dallas will be the clear side. Yeah, and Dougie White saying yes, we must let the market.
Yeah, I'm not betting Cardinals if we've seen 3.5. No way.
No chance. No, you're right. Do you think this goes up to 54.5?
I don't know how anyone can set a total lower than that. Or lower than 52. So yeah, I think it continues to climb.
Because if it gets there right now, so this has gone up to 54 as we speak. Because if it gets to 54.5, I don't know how I have to move on the under. The 54 is a pick 'em, but there are very sharp books that have moved it juiced to the over at 54. And I'm looking at 2 books that are reputable, but we can't mention here that have moved it to 54.5. Crazy. Yeah, like I am saying, they're 54.5 available. Crazy.
So this is interesting. Totals that close above 51 after a market move towards the over, 14 and 10 to the under. However, out of the last 10, 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 3 to the over. So at one point, I remember giving out this is an under trend. Like recently, these games have been going over with these totals climbing above this monumental total, but it's kind of flipping because before that it was nothing but a dead nut under.
Yeah, wow, absolutely wild. See, Alvin Smith, I look at it so differently, but I've nothing but respect for how you look at it. But to me, if this line gets to 3 to 3.5, it means the books are concerned. If it stays below 3, it means they're not concerned at all, and they're opening up their arms to anybody who wants the Cowboys. So I read the market differently. But Alvin, if that helps you get paid, then that's all that matters. We don't need to take.
I feel like Alvin is more of in the line with most bettors. You know, being they want to back the bigger number with that team, right?
Yeah, no, that's true because that the change in me that really started when we were at Pubapalooza I was like, I want things to be expensive. I want books to say this is expensive. You don't want to bet this.
Right.
That's changed for me. That's got me eating. More and more talk about Cardinals Cowboys. It's going to be a really fun Monday nighter regardless. Join us here. Thank you guys for rocking with us. This was a very long one and it's my fault. This was a tough card and I apologize for keeping our producer Jose Bouquet for so long. Let's review all action here on our week 9 slate. Troy coming off back-to-back monster weeks. I've got to the double-digit units finally, which means a lot. I didn't have a good preseason either, and that's included in all that. So it took a while, but I've been trying to ride Troy's coattails to glory. Troy, review your action, my friend.
So I kick it off with the Bears money line. I got a great price at minus 130. That's no longer available, but that's why you got to be in the Discord, man. I post all my action there as soon as I place the bet. Steelers +9, Ravens -1 teaser. A Texans money line, Texans first half money line, and I'm interested in adding to that position. I do think it's a 3-unit type of position. Rams Saints under 44.5 -107. Killed the market on that line. Bills money line for 2 units +108. Bills +1.5 -110. You could wait for that to climb to 2.5, maybe get a +120. I doubt it though. Then I got the teaser with the Bills 7.5, Ravens -1. And then I have the Seahawks -3. And then the addition that I made on the show is the Steelers +3.5.
This was the most difficult week. I think part of it is that we're succeeding. Our ROI is climbing quickly, and when that happens, you take a little bit more time to make sure that it's right here. So I have some interest in that Ravens spot, the Ravens double result. I'm not sure. I got to sit with the Thursday nighter longer. The over in Minnesota, Detroit, I'm going to put some time into tonight, and I expect to move on it. With the problem is that the Lions' offense is not statistically being very good. It's a vividness bias that their offense is so good. It's their defense that's grading out in a very high level. So maybe I'm going to take more time with that. But unders, first half full game in Carolina, Green Bay. The injury report's going to dictate my bet on the Chargers-Titans. I've got a plan for either direction that I believe in. I need to know what's going on with Penix in London. I think it's a pretty simple situation. If Penix and London are out, I'm going to be on the Patriots. I'm going to bet them a couple different ways. If Penix and London are in, the Falcons probably are the move, but I want to spend more time on it.
Agreed.
The Niners-Giants is a simple spot. I need to know what's going on in the IR with the 49ers. I want to fade the 49ers again. They have the Rams on deck, and it means a lot to them. But they've been playing better than I expected, and we hammered the Texans last week. I'm interested in the overs in Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and I think I'm going to move on it. The Texans, I'm going to bet tonight. With you, first half full game, fading the Broncos in this situation. And then it gets us to the under in Saints-Rams. I'm going to move on that. And you guys know I'm doubling up on these unders. Then I want the Bills badly, but I'm going to wait. Because the only thing that would happen is if it moves towards the Bills, I'll get more confident. And I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to wait on the Bills, but I'm extremely interested. Then the Sunday nighter and the Monday nighter is great for us to talk about. But I'm not moving on either at this point. Thank you guys so much here. Alvin Smith, Susie Easton, sports scientist Jacob, Dougie Wise, We Do, BJ, AOD, Harold Williams. Thank you guys for on with us. Dan's Rants, Donut Silks. Thank you guys for rocking with us, man. Drewski, tell me you didn't just say that. AOD, Wager Detective. Thank you guys. Oh, Digging, too. Digging, you were money. Really great angles. And Chris Warren, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. All of you guys, man. We are succeeding because of us as a group working together. Thank you for all that you guys do. Dougie Wise, AM, AOD, all of you guys, thank you so much for this. Luke Burrow, thank you. Man, Troy, you are... You make everybody want to try harder, be better. You inspire us. You even got me in the gym. I mean, you've not only mentally are you inspiring me, but physically as well. And your record here is because of your hard work and your dedication to a cause, and you becoming better and better every year and every month and every day. And that's what we're all trying to do, is to get better and better and better. Unit size bigger, ROI higher, and you do that for us. So thank you for all of that, because it can't really put it into words what it means to our lives, but it's important. So thank you for all that you do. Keep winning. We love seeing it, and we're riding with you. Jose Bouquet, thank you so much sorry how long the show went. It's my fault. These breakdowns are getting longer and longer, not shorter. I apologize. Troy, my man, take us home, and let's get this fucking money, man.
Well, I appreciate you paying homage to me, but I have to pay homage to you, Jimmy, and to this chat, because before I found Pub Sports Radio, I was not a profitable bettor. And every year that passed, my talents, my skills as a capper grew, and I just couldn't be more thankful than to be cashing with you, Jimmy. We're having a great season. I really do believe it continues. The chat is amazing. Pub Sports Radio is the best damn community in the industry. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And there's only one thing I could say at this point after 2 phenomenal weeks. It's time to go 1-0. It's time to go out there week 9, NFL, and leche los bookmakers.